Hello, skins. What's cracking? I'll tell you what's not cracking. DLive is not on for some... Oh, shit. Are they all off? Wait, what? Are all of my outputs off? No? What? Why does it do that? DLive just didn't go live. DLive did not go live. I'll turn DLive on and off again. I thought Beam had fixed all this stuff. Just didn't work. Look, I'll show it to you. You think I'm lying? Think I'm making this up? I've just gone live. Here's my studio dashboard. All the outputs say they're live. In fact, at first they didn't. They were all switched off, but then I refreshed it and they were all on. And well, DLive says it's live. Yet you go to DLive. That is not live. Command R for the refresh. It is not live. It is not live. Yet it says it's live here on Beam. Watch this. Turn it off. Now it says it's off. Turn it back on. Now it says it's back on. Go to DLive. Refresh. And now it's live. So what I'm saying, or what I'm illustrating here, is there are things that are still not working with Beam. Obviously, right? Obviously. That now says it's live. Yeah, I mean, I want to be the support. I want to be the one to support, and I want to be the one to show support. But man, it's hard when things say that they're working and they say that they're fixed and they're not. Like monetization is now opened on Beam. How many glitches are there going to be with that? You know, like just saying, like. Dear. But it seems like it's all good now, so no need to spill the milk and cry about it, but just getting the shit together here. Anyway, I feel like yesterday, maybe there was a need for a call-in on yesterday's stream, so I want to extend it here today. Oh, by the way, I was planning on IRL streaming today, and I can't. You know why I can't? I don't have an HDMI cable. I know that sounds lame because I've got 100 of them back there, but I don't have the small one from the media mod. So micro HDMI to regular HDMI, which is what you need to plug a GoPro in from their media mod. I have all of those cables, but they're hardwired into my van underneath all the under the seats and all through the interior. They're part of the vehicle. There's no way I can use them. And I went to set everything up before and I got it all out there and I was like, yeah, man, we're going to go and do an IRL stream. It's going to be awesome. Sunsets, beautiful, beautiful weather. And I was like, you know what? I don't have an HDMI cable, do I? And I was searching everywhere and I did find an old one, but crikey, man. That was so old. It had that. Remember those HDMI cables that had like a extra, I don't know, like a little something additional in the cable run, like a big bulky thing. I don't even know what it was, but that's what that cable was. Super old. And so, yeah, that's not going to happen. Botrix has correctly joined the channel. Thank you, Botrix. That means we can trigger a command or two on Kick. I love that. Yeah, by the way, I'll just check that Kick is working. Yeah, it's working. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so yesterday, also the stream ended abruptly yesterday. That wasn't me ejecting from 10 cities, lots of tenseness. That was not me doing that. That was just everything failing. And so on my stream this morning on YouTube, I've directly inputted my internet into my MacBook Pro, so it's not going through the CalDigit TS3. I think there's something weird going on with that, if I'm being honest. So I'm avoiding it, or I'm not avoiding it. I'm sending my internet signal. My internet's going, I'm not touching it for internet. Usually that would be where the Ethernet port is connected. Right now it's coming straight into the laptop here on one of the free ports. So that should have mitigated that problem. We're just testing a few things here. I'm not too sure And by the way, we're still using the iPhone as an NDI source. Again, I'll say it. I don't mind that look. I think that looks. I mean, the GH5 is obviously a better looking camera, but that's not bad for just a straight up phone camera, right? Not too bad at all. I mean, it'll do, right? Like we can use this until the GH5 comes back for sure. And then when it's back, we can also use it for the IRL streams because it'll have a functioning HDMI port, hopefully. See how that goes. What else was I going to tell you? I'm going to drink some beer. That's no surprise, though. It's Easter Sunday. No, it's not. It's Easter Saturday. Boost OTV. How you doing, man? Thanks for talking about the NBN prices today. Yeah, dude. Yeah, did you catch that replay? Yeah, dude. That was good conversation. I wanted to put that out there, and I wanted to include that I emailed what's his name, and he just didn't respond. I thought that was pretty lame. But yeah, we'll see. And I think I'll look towards upgrading to a faster upload, even though I don't think it's necessary, but I'll try it. We can't, I mean, look, to be completely frank, I'm stoked with the quality of my streams from home anyway. IRL quality and the quality on that on the P3 Mini, that was pretty shocking. Even when we were stationary at the very beginning of that stream, that did not look good. The bitrate on that looked horrible. It did not look like what it was saying it was. But from these streams from here, I'm psyched on the quality. Like this, and if we bump this up, I mean, some of the ingests can't even take more than 8 megabits. Tesla. I've got a video for Tesla up here ready to watch, but that's what was on my mind. What's his name? Twitch doesn't take more than 6. So even if you have 20, even if you have 50 meg up, I mean, you can't use it, right? You can theoretically use 10, maybe. But I think what will be interesting is to have, let's just say we have 50 meg up and we dedicate 10 to OBS. Well, then there's a discrepancy. No, there's an excess of another 40 meg, which can go elsewhere. So if we have call-ins and whatnot, that can be dedicated just to that. I don't know how you'd route your bitrate. Is there a loop back for bitrate? That'd be interesting. I want to dedicate this amount of bandwidth to this app, and I want to dedicate, I'm sure there's a way to do that. Yo, Chat GPT. I'm not going to bring it up right now, but Chat GPT's been helping me a lot, though. I've been fixing my website, man, my photography website. I've been fixing and tweaking and twisting and turning. The latest thing I want to do is have, so currently when you land on my website, I'll show you what it looks like. Get over here and go bjwok.com. When you land on my website, it currently brings up the galleries as per the order of when they were. The most current gallery is at the top, right? And as you scroll down, and by the way, there's too many of these, I think. It should be limited to maybe 10 or so. And then the page bumpers, which I'll have to adjust those numbers. They look pretty, I'll fix those numbers as well. They look too dark. I want it only to be like 10 or 11, or maybe 20. What's that now? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. I mean, it's almost, I guess we'll just leave it as it is. But what I was going to say is, I think what should happen here is, this one here, this Nick Ward, this should be the most current gallery for sure. But then every other gallery after it should be completely random. You know what I'm saying? And you should be able to refresh your trousers and come in and always see the most current upload and then followed by randomized galleries. Because let me be clear, if you click on full list, oh, by the way, I changed this on hover coloring. It just looks a little bit cleaner, a little bit nicer. If you click on full list of bands, I've got so many galleries all through the alphabet from way back when all the way up till today. And I think that should populate on the website in a random fashion just to get people interested. Oh, I've also fixed the Lightroom presets. I've still got to do a bit more to it, but the Lightroom presets didn't used to load. They're not loading again. Shit, Commander, what the hell? The page must just be too heavy. I'll have to try to adjust that. But these, you know what I'll do? I'll ask ChatGPT to, because it didn't load on that first load, I'll try to write a PHP code, or I'll get ChatGPT to teach me how, that when you click on When you're on any other page on my website and you click on Lightroom presets, I want it to do a double click. Like I want it to click it and then I want it to refresh it so that it automatically does bring up these galleries if they don't exist. But yeah, this on hover or on a slide effect, I think is very, very, well, it's very clear what's going on with the presets, right? Timmy! It's very clear what's happening here. The presets are really fixing these images. I got the highest package you can get on TPG and it's giving me about 47 on the up. That's pretty rad, dude. That's pretty rad. These are my presets, by the way. Before, after, before, after. And I think that's a very good way. Airborne. That's a very good way to see what the preset's actually doing. Before, after. Fixing those lame colors. This one here is pretty nice. Before, after. Before, after. Subtle. Before, lousy lighting. After, fixed it. One click, done. Too dark, much better. Fixed it, fixed it, fixed it, fixed it, fixed it. Fireballs. Want a lovely black and white photo from a lousy orange photo? Perfect. Punchy, 80s, done. The blues explosion. Before, after. Which one's better? Before, after. I like the after. Peter Hook from the New Order. Too much pink. What are you, selling me meats from a delicatessen? After. Much better. Beautiful. Simple presets, which you can use at your leisure. Perfect. Nicely fixed. Too blue? Shithouse. Punchy black and white? Hell yeah. Dirty black and white? Ah, shit yeah. Mr. Paul Dempsey? Too much pink. Come back to Earth. There you are. Fixed it. Ooh, overexposed. Mars Volta. End of their set. Too much light? Fixed it. Too much light? Fixed it. Thank you so much. Come again. Violent Femmes? Pretty good. It was already pretty good. Just a subtle fix there. Too much blue? Subtleties. Very subtle. So I fixed those on my website. I kind of did anyway. Thank you, Chat GPT. Do I have an up? Yeah, there's an up arrow. I'll make this up arrow more prominent so you can click it easier to get back to the top of the website. You can always hit the logo here to go back to the front page and you will see the most current gallery. And yeah, there'll be a selection here of random galleries that'll pop up and give you a little trip down memory lane, so to speak. One thing I'm not going to do, and I know Hendrik has been on my case. You like the black and white photos? Thank you, man. Hendrik said you should update your about photo. No, I think that's quite current. That photo is from like 2008? 2009? I don't know. I think Haley took that. I probably should update that, but I don't know. I kind of like it. That's exactly what I look like, man. What are you talking about? Portfolio opens up in a big overlay. Just nice and simple lightbox effect populates. And it goes through random population of my promo. Maybe it doesn't hold these long enough. Oh no, that seems to be holding quite nicely. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, it's preloading them. This has a thing called lazy load. Preloads. Yo, Netsky, how you doing, man? It's very lazy at the moment. That's not loading, dude. Shit! I thought I had all this fixed. Oh, here I am flogging it off and it's still not working exactly. Oh, I've still got to fix that. See how the shiny brights is too big at the top there? You can't see it on that image. I guess the arrow will get you to the next one quicker. But see the overlay where it says prime? That's too big. Hilltop hoods, you can see it extending out here to the side. I got to fix that. That should be pretty easy to do. It's just a div. Yeah, see Jimmy Barnes, way too big. Too much space on the left here. I'll just fix that. But that's my website, and ChatGPT has been helping me fix it all. Tracer. Yeah, click this tab here for Tracer. And you can learn all about the band and everything I've done with them from 2011 through 2016 when they ended. And it starts with the story of how we first met, which includes me pooping myself in public for the third time. There's a little Link there for you to check out at your own leisure. And then there's literal galleries of everything that I've done with Tracer. Pick one at random. On Location, El Pistolero video, March 2013. Oh, shit. One of our favorites. There's some photos from behind the scenes of that video shoot. If you've never seen them, you might want to check them out. And there should be the video clip down there somewhere too. I guess. Yeah, there's the video. And there's some iPhone photos from that shoot. Yeah. And so that's all there for you. I also added a link tree up here. I used to have a Kick link there, but I figured link tree probably better, right? Linktree is permanent and you can change it willy-nilly. And so Linktree opens up there and you can go down and scroll through all of my different little public performance areas. What else have I got here? Oh, there's a search bar. Search bar's always been there, but it's just pretty clean. If you want to search for, let's say, I don't know, pick a band, The Beards. Search for The Beards, and this brings up the search results. I should make that look a little cleaner, though. I can fix that. Don't need to see by BJ Walk. The date's important, but you can see all the Beards work I've done there. Birds of Tokyo? I must have mentioned the Beards in that. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yo, Netsky, I watched your internet speed increase stream before. Was surprised you don't get as good as what we get. Netsky, you're in New Zealand, dude. You've always had good internet over there, man. Dunedin was, I believe, one of the first cities to have gigabit internet. Chat GPT, where have you been all my life? Come on, give me it. I want to find that out. I think Dunedin, or as I used to call it, Dunedin. Yes, I did. I did it to be silly, but I believe Chat GPT will confirm. Your upload speed sucks, exactly. Where was the first gigabit speed city? It's either Dunedin, might have been Wollongong. Oh, Chattanooga in Tennessee. Okay. Chattanooga for all those chats. In 2010, Chattanooga became the first US city to offer 1 gig internet, fiber optic internet to all its residents. How far behind was Dunedin in New Zealand? Dunedin was quite a bit behind Chattanooga in terms of timeline, about 5 years later. Okay. In 2014, New Zealand internet provider Chorus ran a national competition called Gigatown. Towns competed in online challenges to win. Dunedin won the competition and was awarded the first gigabit internet speeds in the country. There you go. By 2015, selected areas of Dunedin had access to gigabit speeds. 2015. That's... wow. And I think Wollongong was one of the first cities in Australia on the mainland of Australia. How about Wollongong? WOLLONG. Wollongong didn't make headlines as a first mover in gigabit internet race, but it gradually gained access to high-speed gigabit internet, largely thanks to the NBN upgrades. Here's the breakdown. Pre-2020, mixed technologies, fiber to the node, fiber to the curb, HFC, etc., etc. By 2022, parts of Wollongong was fiber to the premise. Okay. Let's ask, are there any places in Australia with multi-gigabit speeds? Yes, multi-gigabit internet is starting to pop up in Australia, but it's still not widespread. It's limited to specific areas, business districts, or premium fiber networks. Where can you get multi-gigabit speeds, 2 gigs and beyond? Brisbane, Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, Sydney, Melbourne. Gigacom. Gigacom offers 2 gig symmetrical data plans. Shit, yeah. Uses its own private fiber network, not the NBN. Okay. Through NBN, you can now get gig down 50 up skins. That's all going to change in September. Alternative fiber networks. DigiTech in Melbourne offers 10 gig symmetrical. Shit. Open Networks, LBN Co, Opticom. Wow. Damn, 10 gig. What? That's crazy. Netskis, I'm sure they have 10 gig in central city of Christchurch. Let me check. Does Christchurch in NZ have... Oh, I'll just go 10 gig. You said it. It's thinking. It's got to go across the ditch here for this answer. It's taking its time. Chat GPT says, not too sure. Yes, Christchurch, New Zealand does have access 10 gig fiber internet in certain areas, thanks to the country's advanced fiber infrastructure. Who offers it? Enable Networks. Enable available to both residential and business customers. Shit, yeah. Retail ISPs offering 10 gig are 2 Degrees and Spark. I used both of those guys in NZ when I was there. Okay. These ISPs resell Hyperfiber. Now there's a name. Hyperfiber. Almost sounds German. Ich habe ein Hyperfiber. They offer Hyperfiber plans on Enable's fiber, usually 120 to 140 a month for 2 gig. Okay. Oh shit, you got 4 and 10, of course 10 gig. Yeah. You'll need a 10 gig WAN router, of course you will. It's up closer to 8 gig usable. Well, boo-hoo, you don't get the full 10 gig. Availability depends on your address. Man. So what's the connection you're using there, Netskis? What's the provider and what's the speed? I know you said you're about 50 up, but 50 up, shmishby, you can get access to gigabit there by the lookskis of it. So what I was saying at the breakdown at the beginning of this stream, I was saying that I feel like yesterday got a little bit tense in the chit chat, right? A little bit tense there. And I thought maybe today we should open the lines, at least give the option for call-ins should anyone require call-ins. So is anybody needing a call-in? Anybody want to get shit off their chest? Anybody need to vent, rant, rave, act like a maniac? You're welcome to do it right here on my channel. Whatever the thing may be bothering you. That could go either way in different countries. But in Australia, bugger me doesn't mean quite what you think it does. But yeah, if there's anything that's really got your goat right now and you want to address it, today's the day. It's open. It's always open, but today is even more open. Mine is 950 down and 500 up. Oh, shit, man. Well, Netsky, how about this, man? How about I start RTMPing you all of my content and you can just be my little producer and we'll just use part of your internet to do that all. You can be my little bonding station. That's on 1.nz, but I would love the big speed. You don't think that's enough? 950 down and 500 up and you want more? You greedy little New Zealander. Calm down, man. We could do that over NDI maybe. I mean, dude, we could try it. You know what? We could test that. I could start a virtual camera here and just plot it to an NDI output and then send it to you. I mean, I don't need that. I was kind of being silly. I mean, it kind of would work for IRL streams though. Like that would be something. But then what am I saying? Then you've got to have your shit turned on all the time whenever I want it. That ain't gonna work. How about that Blue Origin launch though, man? I'm still confused by that, right? I was thinking, what was it about that? In particular, the giant vibrator launching into space, what was it that looked so fake? And it's the frame rate. It's too smooth. It looks like 240 frames a second. Now, I'm not saying that you can't shoot a launch in 240 frames. Of course you can, but the question was the question it brought up was if they can cover the launch part so well, why was everything else so crap? You know, like the in-capsule audio where they were talking and wow and all that stuff. That sounded rubbish. Yet the launch part of it was like so good it looked faked. It looked like it was CGI, right? But everything else was just rubbish quality. I just don't get how one part can be so good and the other part can be so poor. Let's move on though, because this video has been bugging me. Tesla protesters are big mad. Let's check it out.
Do you want money taken from your grandma? Do you want to not support battered women? Stand up and say it, fascists. Stand up and say it. I'm standing up and saying what I believe. You stand up and say what you believe, and not platitudes, and not idolatry.
I think
Let's hear ideas. You have no ideas. All you have is hate, racism, stupidity, and greed.
And that's why I'm going to scratch your vehicle. I think we started watching this, but we didn't get too far into it.
I think the dealership should, the vandalism that's going on there is okay.
I'll take the fifth on that one.
Would you say, like, please stop vandalizing the Tesla cars?
Please stop vandalizing our government.
He's got charging stations everywhere.
That's
He is
right.
quietly taking over the country.
With the charging stations?
Yes.
What car should people
That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? All those charging stations, he's definitely taken over the
buy
country.
that's an electric vehicle other than Tesla?
That I don't have an answer to. I haven't done a lot of research into alternatives.
Yo, Brett, how you doing, man? Hey, Gibbs, how's it going? Good to see you, Brett, over on the D-Live machine. What's cracking? Good to see you, dude.
Here in Tampa today at a Tesla takeover event because people are big mad about money being saved. I'm under coverage. It's Jenna today. Let's go see what everybody's whining about.
What everybody's wondering about.
Cybertruck right there. What do you think about the people who have been keying Tesla cars and Cybertrucks?
I don't think they should do that. I think
Just give me 1 second to close my door. I just put my AC on, but there's no point if the door's open, right? It's counterintuitive. Just close that door up a little.
that a lot of these owners purchased them way before Elon went out of his mind. And I think the dealerships is one thing. Somebody's personal car should be off limits. That's just not right.
Do you think the dealership
That sounds
should,
fair.
the vandalism that's going on there is okay?
Netsky, I think EVs will be dead soon as water engines come out. Water engines? Buh? Water engines. Is this a thing? You got a link for that? You can't just start talking like water engines. That's incredible. Brett, good. Wow, that girl used to be very fit. Did she? Until she got a Tesla? Is that what you're saying?
I'll take the fifth on that one.
So not someone's personal cars, but maybe the dealership that's up for...
Well, I don't think there should be destruction.
Okay.
I don't. I think it should be just a protest. I don't think there should be destruction.
Good. And do you think people who purchased a Tesla car in the past and then now we realize how just crazy Elon Musk is, should they be selling that?
I don't think they can.
You don't think they can?
Who's going to buy them?
Well, that
I'll buy it, you idiot.
would be my next question.
Yeah.
One, who's going to buy them?
They can't sell them. They
Toyota has one. Hydrogen, obviously, but what I've seen looks good. So hydrogen and water is the cooling mechanism?
lost value. No one's going to buy them.
Okay.
So they should be left alone.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. What is the worst thing Elon Musk has done?
The Nazi salute.
Oh, okay. That's the worst thing he's done.
As far as I'm concerned, that started. Yeah, no.
All right. So the actually the Anti-Defamation League, who is really, they kind of love pointing out when people are anti-Semitic or leaning towards the Nazi side. They actually defended Elon Musk and said that that was not a Nazi salute. What do you think about that?
They're full of shit.
Okay. All right. I love it. Straight to the point. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
Got it.
Hi. How are you?
Nice to see you.
Thank you for being out here today. What do you think about Elon Musk?
I think the big problem our country faces is that people don't realize that Putin was trained by communists to create all this.
Didn't really answer the question though, right? What do you think about Elon Musk? Well, Putin, he was trained. Like, it's funny how that people can just It's like almost they already know what they're going to respond. Doesn't matter what the question would be. Did you know that it rained yesterday in Florida? Well, Putin did this. Like, did you even hear the thing I said, or did you just come here with the thing that you want to say?
It's the conservatives, the so-called conservatives, are kissing a communist. You know, they don't realize that Putin was trained to make an idiot out of Trump. That's our big problem.
What's the worst thing Elon Musk has done?
Come to this country and stirred up all this bullshit. He's not from this. He's not an American. He doesn't understand our Constitution.
Do you think people who come to this country and don't acclimate and understand our Constitution should be out?
No, but I don't think they should be immediately installed into political leadership positions on just because they got money. I welcome everybody to this country. We need them. We need people. I'm an old
It's not what you just said, though, dude. You just said he shouldn't have come here.
man. Who's going to help me do all this stuff when I get old if we don't have some immigrants here that are willing to help?
Do you have
What?
children?
Nope.
Oh, yeah, you're kind of SOL then, huh?
Yeah, well, I had difficulty as a kid, so I didn't want to have kids.
Sorry.
It was a conscious decision.
Yeah.
Then when I got old enough to have kids, it was too late.
I love your shirt. Can I get your shirt on camera?
Absolutely.
That is hilarious. Canada is not for sale.
Absolutely. We're proud Canadians here.
Are you a Canadian?
Yes.
Okay.
Born and raised.
Okay.
Wow.
Why are you protesting outside of Tesla today?
Well, we're very concerned about the things that are happening in the Trump administration, and Elon Musk is at the heart of so much of it.
What's the worst thing he's done so far?
This is not the time or place to even enumerate it. It's very upsetting. We're here to raise awareness.
Right, Father?
Wow. So upsetting we can't even say what it is. Brett, I'm Canadian and I'd rather be American. Is that like, you mean right now in history, or in general you'd rather be American?
Are you concerned at all about the 120,000 employees that Tesla has that make a living off of working in these dealerships and
Nah, screw those guys. Bad luck, they chose the wrong employer.
the energy side and the car manufacturing side? Are you worried at all there might be negative effects to their employment if Tesla were to go down?
It is very concerning that the CEO of Tesla has decided to get so political. That's why most CEOs don't do it. Because in my mind, it shows a lot of disregard for the employees, for the people who just want to do their job every day. When the head of the company is so partisan, so involved in politics, is essentially acting as a shadow president of the U.S., that is really hard on them.
How does that change the day-to-day goings-on at Tesla, though? I don't get that. Like, you work for Tesla, Elon works with Trump in Doge. I don't get how those two things even line up. Like, yeah, he owns it, but you still have to go to work at Tesla. Nothing you do at Tesla has any impact on any of that Doge stuff. I like Trump, and my government is basically communist. So you're thinking of vacating?
Absolutely.
Or do you think that maybe the calls to shut down Tesla dealerships and Tesla as a business, we should maybe scale that back because the employees would suffer and lose their jobs?
I'm very concerned, as I say, that the head of Tesla has been so political. No one asked him to do this, and no sensible company or well-run company does the head of a company just involve them in politics.
Why not? There's plenty of CEOs that are on boards of certain organizations. Let's remember, he doesn't work for the government. Brett, I've been trying to get to the US, but they don't want you. Oh, okay. You've been applying for certain jobs and stuff and getting qualified up and whatnot.
Shows a reckless disregard for Tesla share price, for Tesla shareholders, for Tesla employees, for Tesla.
What's wrong with is his hand cut?
Reckless disregard for Tesla share price.
Let's go forward here. He's got a cut. His hand is all red.
By what he is doing politically.
Are you an American?
What's wrong with his hand? He's got red hands.
Are you an American?
I'm a green card holder.
Oh.
I'm a Canadian citizen.
Okay.
But America.
Wait. So he's got a green card, so he'd rather be in America than Canada. You could put your money where your mouth is and leave, dude.
Should be concerned.
Okay.
And I have family who are.
Yeah, look at his hand. Oh, is that a cigarette? Is that a smoker's hand? That's hardcore cigarette hand, right? Holy shit. Look at his index finger.
Are American. We should be concerned. In fact, everyone should be concerned. Everyone around the world should care.
He's voting with his feet. He doesn't... his appearance shouldn't make any difference, but it kind of is.
As citizens of the world, the actions being taken
He kind of looks like a South Park character.
by this government.
Absolutely.
But if you care about Tesla, you have to care about the actions of Elon Musk too, because it is deeply irresponsible to do this.
And then, would you be able to publicly condemn the vandalism at the Tesla dealerships and on Tesla cars?
Well, of course, I have nothing to do with vandalism. Why are you even asking me? Why the hell would I know anything about that?
Because the right
I have
wing
nothing to do with that.
No,
That's
I know
fine.
you aren't.
That's
It's
just
the
a
right wing.
ridiculous question to even ask. Like, why the hell? Why don't we all condemn vandalism? But why are you even
Not everybody. Not the people doing it.
asking me? I don't think that's really
I was
useful or helpful to ask that question.
Why are you so upset over
Because
me
I
just
have
making
nothing
sure?
to do with that.
I'm just out here proving that you guys are peaceful and you're not
Anyway,
like the right wing says.
This is
He see, funnily enough, he's getting violent with his voice. You know, his vandalism is not in burning down Tesla dealerships; it's burning down reporters with his responses.
not a useful conversation when you ask those questions. But thank you, though. I appreciate it.
Now he's lecturing her, and he's being sarcastic. This guy's a giant douchebag. Typical Canadian. Man, I love Canadians. I got a lot of respect for Canadians. I got some very fond memories of Canada and Canadians in general. I don't know, but this guy's a giant douche.
Nonetheless,
It's just disavowing vandalism.
Can we just hear him put her down at the end there? Watch him. He like talks to her like it's his daughter or something.
Just-
more helpful to ask that question.
Let's hear this bit at the end again.
I know
Fine.
you aren't.
That's
It's
just
the right
a ridiculous question to even ask. Like, why the hell? Why don't we all condemn vandalism? But why are you even asking me? I don't think that's really
I was
useful or helpful to ask that question.
Why are you so upset over
Because
me
I
just
have
making
nothing
sure?
to do with that.
I'm just out here proving that you guys are peaceful and you're not
Anyway,
like the right wing says.
This is not a useful conversation when you ask those questions. But thank you, though. I appreciate it nonetheless.
It's just disavowing vandalism.
Elon Musk fights against human trafficking.
Yeah,
He does.
I know.
He's with Homeland Security, bro.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. This is funny.
Wow.
So you guys are out here saying that the store is closing, everything must go. Obviously, you're not working for Tesla, right?
No.
Like you're not actual like the store's not actually closing. Would you be happy to see the store close?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you agree with that? Would you be happy to see it close?
I really just want Musk out of the government.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my main thing.
Okay, so you would be happy to see the store close. Do you have any concern for the 120,000 employees?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So if the store
They
closed,
can all crash at my house. I'll put them in the yard.
they would be out of a job. Would you?
I mean, if they just let Elon go, that'll get me a lot closer to being okay with Tesla again.
Okay.
But as long as he stays at the top of their board, like I can't, he's CEO, like this money goes directly into his pocket, which lets him do the things he's doing.
Right.
And that I'm not okay with, because I'm not okay with the things he's doing.
Okay. And do you think that a store closing and people losing their jobs would just kind of have to be what it does? Like that's just kind of how it has to be.
Go that way, but that's one way it can go, if that's what it comes to. And that would be unfortunate. We'd lose a car company, but I mean, it might be what it takes.
Well, also 120,000 people would lose their jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just kind of like, but that's just how it has
A
to
lot of
be.
people are losing their jobs right now thanks to Elon Musk.
That's the Department of Government Efficiency that has cracked down on those contracts that are getting re-signed when no one's actually there to do the thing. Those people, right?
It's a complicated equation. It's not simple on either side of this. Like, and if you're trying to paint it as one thing, where just 120,000 people lose jobs or they don't, that's oversimplifying it.
Okay. Well, if like he went out of business, like say he like, you guys got what you wanted. He went out of business. He wasn't profiting from this anymore. Tesla got shut down. I just wonder what would we do with 120,000 employees?
Actually, what I want. I mean, what I really want is for him not to be involved with Tesla, not to be financially profiting from Tesla.
Right.
Like, and there are multiple ways that can happen, and Tesla can make that happen.
Why do you think they won't kick him off?
That's a great fucking question, and I have no answers. I don't know why they're still sticking with him. It's not working out for them well.
What car should people buy that's an electric vehicle other than Tesla?
That I don't have an answer to. I haven't done a lot of research into alternatives.
I haven't really thought this one through, have you? I think this guy's also upset that he has to hold the sign up because I think he wants to eject from this conversation, but he's the other guy on the other side of the sign.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Not that long ago, I would have said a Tesla.
Okay.
Like, because it was a company I did believe in until Elon Musk started doing the things he's doing today.
So you used to like Elon, but now you don't. So that's the crux of the matter. I liked Elon when he was doing the things that I appreciated, but now he's doing things that don't align with me. So Elon bad, and everything related to him is bad.
Time. Thank you. Do you have an alternative that you could recommend to people to buy instead of a Tesla?
I love a Prius, but it's not the most efficient thing on the market these days. I'm not super well versed. I drive an old car, and I'm not in the market anytime soon. But I think it's like either BMW or Mercedes. I was just reading an article. Like, they appear to be doing better on all the stats. Like, plus also, like, I guess you can't trust the Tesla company. They've lied on so many stats. Like, you have to really look at what people are getting in the field versus what they're claiming that they're charging speed times and stuff like that. Their range.
See that shirt that she's wearing? No one voted for Elon, but he's not in the government. That's what I don't get. Like, he's not an active government member. So yeah, no one voted for him, and he's not part of the government.
Right. What's the worst thing Elon Musk has done?
Not divest himself from his corporate interests while also meddling in our government.
So the only person that has recognized me so far is actually another content creator, Adam. And there's a bunch of MAGA people over there. I'm going to avoid them because I don't want them to recognize me and kind of derail what I'm doing. But this is great. No one has recognized me. Jenna out here, undercover.
Who is it? I don't know who that is.
I feel like an absolute goober. If you guys ever wanted to know if I hate dressing in this stuff, I do. I feel like a straight up goober. Hi, ladies.
Goober.
Thanks for coming out to our event. I really appreciate it.
Okay, you're one of the organizers. Somebody told me somebody filming was from getting information against us, so I was like,
Oh, no, I don't know who that is.
We were.
Is it the guy in the MAGA hat right there? He's
I don't know. We're trying not to engage.
So what are you out here doing today?
No kings.
No kings.
No
Trump.
kings.
No fascist USA.
Absolutely.
Save our democracy.
No kings. Okay. Brett, I forgot her name. It's like a gun girl or something. She used to be hot. Okay. Well, she's still kind of cute. She's she said she's not normally dressing like that.
This has gone too far.
So are you protesting Trump today or Elon Musk?
Well, they're together, aren't they?
So what?
He put $275 million?
Who's the king? Is she saying that Elon is a king?
Didn't he buy votes in Pennsylvania? Isn't he in Wisconsin
He voted.
right now?
Wait, what did you say about Pennsylvania?
Yes, didn't he we'll give you $100 to come and register? Yeah, Elon Musk did that.
So are you saying that there might be voter fraud in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, you know there is. Of course there is. Of course there is.
Okay.
Elon's in Wisconsin right now.
Wait, so is she saying that there was voter fraud to get Trump elected? Voter fraud in his favor this time. Huh.
Not trying to buy votes. They're trying to make illegal his lottery to give two people $1 million. So if they come and register to vote against the democracy and against the candidate for the Supreme Court in Wisconsin.
Did you see any evidence of the fraud that Trump claims happened in the 2020 election?
Yeah, thank you. I grew up in New Jersey. The man's a con. He's always been a con. He's for no one but him.
Wait, didn't she just say that there was fraud in this election as well? So there was fraud in the election that Trump lost, and there's voter fraud in the election that he won as well. That kind of doesn't really add up.
He's a liar and a cheat.
Absolutely.
And a fascist and a racist
That's
and
it.
a misogynist and an
That's it.
adulterer and a liar.
Rapist. Don't forget
And a rapist. He's adjudicated guilty of sexual assault. The judge said that was tantamount to the criminal charge of rape. He is credibly alleged of having raped a 14-year-old girl. Is that what you want for your president?
Oh, he's now talking about Trump. Man, this guy seems unhinged. He's like he's going to blow a top.
Absolutely not.
Elon, right?
No,
Yeah, which one are you guys talking about?
I'm sorry, I interrupted you, and I shouldn't have done that.
You're good, my friend. You're good.
I was talking about our alleged president, our fascist, Nazified, idiot, moronic.
The Mango Menace?
Break our NATO alliance, turn our allies against us, steal our money, throw 71 million people off Medicaid.
Wait, Netsky, so many AI-looking videos on YouTube. I want a real person. You think this is AI? This is real, unfortunately. Unfortunately, this one's real, dude. Her name is Caitlin Bennett, the gun girl. Okay. Caitlin Bennett, the gun girl. Is she famous for gun activism or something?
That people depend on. 71 million people. Is this what you want? Do you want money taken from your grandma? Do you want to not support battered women and abused children? Is that what you believe? Stand up and say it, fascists. Stand up and say it. I'm standing up and saying what I believe. You stand up and say what you believe, and not platitudes, and not idolatry. Let's hear ideas.
Sorry, this guy moments ago said, sorry, I just interrupted you there, love. And then he just continued to interrupt her, and like not a chance that she can get a word in either way here. Maybe Chat GPT could answer the latest news on the Toyota fuel cell engine. We'll if you haven't got a link, we'll take a look later. Yeah. She used to walk around her high school with an AR-15. That's how she went viral. She did what? Is that legal where she was? What's her name again? Have I already closed Chat GPT? Apologies. I have a habit of closing this without even knowing I've closed it. Here it is again, though, the GPT machine. You said her name was Caitlin Bennett. How did Caitlin Bennett get famous? Caitlin Bennett became famous and controversial primarily for being the Kent State gun girl. She gained widespread attention in 2018 after graduating from Kent State University, posting photos of herself on campus with an AR-10 rifle strapped to her back. The photos were part of a statement advocating for gun rights and criticizing the university's policy that prohibits students from carrying firearms on campuses. So that's pretty tasteless, I guess, given that most, shootings happen at schools. And it's usually students that do the shootings. That's pretty tasteless. If I'm just, as an outsider looking in, that seems pretty tasteless. The viral nature of the post, she only did it once, combined with her outspoken conservative views, led to more media coverage and a growing online following. She later worked with the far-right media outlet Liberty Hangout, conducting man-on-the-street style interviews, producing provocative content. I mean, there's nothing wrong with going after what you believe in, but I don't know about taking a gun to school and just parading it around. Like, what do you think's going to happen? People are going to... It's like wearing a shark mask at the ocean and having the fin, and people think there's a shark, right? It was legal. Yeah. Her fame is closely tied to conservative... I thought that said autism. Conservative activism, gun rights advocacy, and viral social media moments. Okay. Over on YouTube Boost, kids are trying to be like the GTA game. Right. I see that link there, Netskis. I guess that's about the car, right? The hydrogen vehicle. I'll just tab that out, Skins. We'll just make sure we got that there. No more electric. Yeah, breaking news. Okay, cool. We'll get to that. Let's continue with this absolute nutbag.
Have no ideas. All you have is hate, racism, stupidity, and greed.
Wow.
A round of applause for that right there. He has been waiting a while for that. Yeah, that was great. What do you think about...
What would be one word you'd use to describe that gentleman? Whether you... I'm not suggesting whatever about what he said. Like, you can agree or disagree, but would you agree that a word to describe that would be unhinged? He's unhinged. He's not quite on that same scale of being like sanity that the rest of us are. You would call it a lefty wanker. I mean that as well, but there's the content of what he said then could have made more impact if he had have just explained it matter of factly and like just like a general conversation instead of like screaming at her like he's on top of a podium talking to like 500 people. That's 2 words, right. Retarded, Brett. I mean, yeah, okay.
The vandalism that's going on at Tesla dealerships around the country. And we're not the TV, so you can say whatever you want.
You know, I still for no violence unless we're pushed. I mean, they want us to do violence so they can declare martial law. So that's why I'm against the violence. They are police officers? Okay. Do you want my name?
What are you guys out here protesting today? What's the #1 thing to be anti-Elon for?
Stop the oligarchy. We want Americans. He's not elected, and he has no business doing what he's doing. We don't want the billionaires taking over our country.
Are you trying to? Oh, let me get you on Facebook. Hold on.
Yeah, we're
Facebook's a good spot for that.
That's what it's all about.
Did you feel that way?
They pit American against American so that they can pick our pockets.
Did you feel that way when Kamala Harris actually got more donations from more billionaires than Trump did?
I felt like I had a buffer, at least with the Democrats, and now we have no buffer.
Look at that. Sorry. This woman here is like, I don't know what happened, but she wants to get him on Facebook, and it's taken her like a minute and a half to get a phone to that point where she can actually do it. And by then, it's the thing that she wanted to do, it's already passed. Like, watch this. Look how long it takes her to get to her phone. I don't know what happened, maybe the police or something, but watch this.
The billionaires taking over our country.
Are you trying to? Oh, let me get you on Facebook. Hold on.
Yeah, we're stopping the oligarchy. That's what it's all about.
Let me get you on Facebook. Hold on.
They pit American against American so
I'm
that they can pick our
I'm just going to spend the next 5 minutes learning how to use my smart device, my smartphone, and then I'll get you on Facebook.
Did you feel that way?
The conversation is going to this gentleman, but she's still busy trying to get to the spot.
When Kamala Harris actually got more donations from more billionaires than Trump did?
I felt like I had a
Not
buffer,
done yet. Watch.
At least with the Democrats, and now we have no buffer. Okay, so at least we were fooled with Kamala in there that we're going to be on a slow bleed.
She's like, I can't work this out. Can you help me? Here, show me the phone. I'll help you there.
And now we're on the, take it right.
Can someone invent a better phone? Maybe that guy at Apple. No, we don't like him either.
I'm living on Social Security, and for the first time...
This girl is interviewing people who know.
My name's Jenna.
Also, Jenna, I'd like to mention that Social Security is not an entitlement. It's something that put in 8% of every one of my paychecks. My employer put in 8%. They did not give me a retirement account because they said you have a government retirement.
Evidently.
Okay.
Look how serious they are.
Yeah, that's why I didn't make money.
Wow.
Who are they here for anyway? It's like someone hired them because they're routinely attacked at events or something.
Yeah, if I was Tesla, I would hire security.
This woman, she would be the first to scream about, if some shit went down at this rally and there was someone there that rocked up, and started blowing people away, she'd be the first to say, and where were the police? They weren't around. When you need them, they're not there. And now here they are, just maintaining a distance, standing there, not provoking, just standing around watching. And she's all, look at these guys policing this area. Like, you can't have it both ways, hey?
I don't blame them. I've had companies in the past where things happen. I hire security.
Yeah, or perhaps just a little girl who films YouTube videos that gets attacked at these types of events. So would you publicly...
So it's her security. I'm assuming.
Or let me know if you think there's any validity to the vandalism that's happening at dealerships.
Those are a different animal. Vandalism is not peaceful protesting. Peaceful protesting is an American right. It's in our Constitution. You're talking animals, versus apples versus oranges.
Yeah. Would you be willing to tell the people who are doing that to the camera, if they're watching?
The big muscly guy doesn't help her disguise. Yeah, so it's her security, right? I mean, at first we thought it was cops, but it's her security.
Stop vandalizing Teslas?
No, because there's no reason for it. Do you see any vandalism?
No, not here. But it's been happening across the country, and people are having their Teslas keyed. Would you be willing to look at the...
very angry.
I wouldn't doubt if it's a red flag.
The people that are keying Teslas are these people, but they're so quick to like create a divide between them. These people, if I'm sure you could find people at this rally that have keyed a Tesla, right? If you looked deep enough, but they'd be like, oh, wait, no, we disavow all that kind of that's just senseless, you know. But they're the dudes doing it, literally the people doing it.
Red flag situation going on with the Tesla dealers. It's very, very good.
Maybe it's an inside job.
Yes, you know.
Hey, what did he just say? That someone blew up the Tesla dealer themselves? It was an inside job? Someone working at Tesla?
Country and people are having their Teslas keyed. Would you be willing to look at the?
Very angry.
I wouldn't doubt if it's a red flag situation going on with the Tesla dealers. It's very, very good.
Maybe it's an inside job.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Would you be able just to?
He did it to himself.
Hey, other people who might agree with me, please don't vandalize any Teslas.
Hi, this is what.
Please don't take over. More important.
But would you say like, please stop vandalizing the Tesla cars?
Please stop vandalizing our government.
She won't even say it. She can't say it. She won't say it because she knows it's hypocritical.
Also, please stop buying them.
Stop buying the Tesla cars.
Yeah, just like we, you know, people.
Yo, Woz, how you doing, man? Angry people love to be angry. I mean, on your day off or weekend, would you imagine this is the best way to spend your time? You know what people like this on the edge of the road with signs is? It's on the internet. It's like a pop-up, right? You don't see them that much anymore, but there used to be pop-ups where you go to a website and suddenly something pops up in front of you and you're like, oh no, I don't want to go there. And you try to click it to get rid of it and it takes you to Save the Koalas Foundation or whatever. And you're like, that is just making my experience on the internet horrible. That's what these dudes are doing. They're making the experience of driving down that street horrible. That's it.
Also, people should not buy Tesla cars.
Should people be selling their Teslas?
That's up to the individual. A lot of people bought them before they knew what kind of fascist Elon was, you know, before he took over our government. So people that bought Teslas in the past, I feel sorry for them. They've lost all that value.
What's the car? Do the Sig Heil! Do the Roman salute! Roman salute!
Wow.
What were you saying to him?
Do the Roman salute.
Yeah.
They won't do it.
Well, probably because they're not Nazis, right?
That's all I'm going to say right there.
By the way, after returning the KiloView device, did you get any comment from them regarding the big fail? It hasn't been returned yet. I'll just stop for a second. It's still here. I still have it. But I did have a one-on-one video chat with Jim from KiloView. There's two things I'll say about this. So he alerted me to some concerns that they have with the product. He was very receptive to my live stream. He was very understanding about the points I was making, and he's also found it somewhat frustrating because there is another YouTuber, which he couldn't link to me, but he said that there's another YouTuber that we've supplied products to, and he is using a Starlink with no problem. And I said, well, can I see that? I'd love to see it. But he couldn't give that to me, unfortunately. This is a demo model, and he was suggesting that potentially the actual final retail version may have a hardware fix that will allow usage with Starlink. As it stands right now, there's nothing else I can do with that product to get it to work with the Starlink. It just won't. You need it's a 4G bonding hardware.
Hello
that's all.
there.
Yo, hello there. H-Man, how you doing, man? Good to see you, buddy. But the one thing that I will say which really surprised me, and this is pretty poor form, and I don't know how to approach anyone at KiloView about it, and I don't even know if I'm going to, but what they did, they took my entire stream and re-uploaded it to their channel. Like just a complete rip off my channel and a re-up to theirs. So I got a copyright notification. KiloView has used 100%. No, KiloView has used your content on their channel. How much percentage of it has been used? 100%. And I go and check it and I'm like, man, they just re-upped they just took my stream. They just downloaded my stream off the YouTube and uploaded it to their channel. I was like, that's not cool. Ultimately, I'm not that mad about it, but I'm just like, they know that that's not right. You don't do that. They know that, right? Like everybody knows that. You can't just steal And we're talking like we're in an open discussion between both of us. It just seems like a weird thing to do. And I haven't been in this position before. I've had random channels steal my shit and upload it, and I just straight away say, file a complaint, and it gets taken down. But I'm like, if I file a complaint, they're going to get an email saying, gives a minute, filed a complaint against your YouTube content for copyright. They're going to be like, why would he do that? I'm like, but why would you do that? Like, why would you take my content? And so when Jim and I spoke on Wednesday, I think it was, and I had that in the back of my mind that I was going to bring it up. And then we talked for pretty brief, probably 25, 30 minutes. And I forgot. By the end of that conversation, I completely forgot to ask him. But what I did have in my mind was, because there is talk about getting a fix, getting this back to there's a brand in Australia who's the network distributor for this in Australia. So this goes back to them. And then he was saying, and we'll try to work out how we can get the other one, the one that does work with Starlink, in your hands. And I'm going to be completely upfront. I'm going to say, at that point, Jim, let's talk money. I've done a lot of, spent a lot of time and a lot of effort to reviewing your products or this product. And from here on in, we need to talk reimbursement before I do anything more. And if he doesn't like it, and I'll say, well, also, we're going to have to address this video that you guys blatantly stole. I don't want to get on anyone's wrong side, but none of this has been paid, right? This is all me doing this because I wanted to, and I wanted to test the product. But at some point, there comes a cutoff where you say, okay, now we're working for each other and we're working to benefit each other. So there has to be some reimbursement for that. And if that's not going to happen, you just can't steal my content and upload it as yours. Hell, that's a Jay Boston move, flat out, right? That's a Jay Boston. You'd think that would be bad for them regarding sales. Yeah, they said, look, and the video that they put up was the unboxing, not the actual streams or the review, which I did. So yeah, it doesn't look good for them. The product, there are many good things about that product, but the ultimate take back or takeaway is that it doesn't work with Starlink. And like I said, that's a big fail, because Starlink it's only getting bigger and stronger. There's talk about Starlink on phones, right? Using your phone as the Starlink dish. I know there's a way to do that right now with just small amounts of data for text messages when you're in emergency situations. But there is more talk about, no, we'll also have Starlink mini Starlink mode. I don't know what they'll call it. And that, I mean, dude, like, if your product isn't aligning with that shit, then you're behind, right? Like, way behind. Boost, are you thinking about getting another Starlink system for your car? I already have it. We used it. We've already used it. This is perfect, dude. This is the greatest thing, right? This is a Starlink Mini. It's the modem and the dish in one. All you do is plug in power and Ethernet, and you've got yourself a dish. I put it on my backpack behind my head. IRL. Right now, at the moment, I can't use it because my GH5 broke, but yeah, perfect. It's Boston brand damage 101. Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. And if it worked really well, they'd be getting sales from it. Exactly. Starlink Ultra Super Micro, Hendrik. Yeah. It'll be like a Starlink SIM. You'll be like, do you want to use an Optus SIM, or would you rather use a Starlink SIM? Here's the difference. The Starlink SIM, you pop in and you can use it anywhere on the planet for any amount of data, or you can put in your Optus one, and whenever you leave the country, you got to pay for roaming and shit. It's up to you to decide, you know? I know what I'd use.
What do you think about the people who work for Tesla? Do you think
There's other EV companies. There's a lot of different EVs. That's why people are turning
Name 3, quickly.
in their Teslas. They don't want to be associated with fascism.
Absolutely. So if Tesla were to go under because you don't want to fund fascists, are you concerned for the 120,000 employees that Tesla...
That's probably less than the government workers that were fired. Way less.
Well, so we can definitely talk about that, but are you concerned for all those private citizens who would lose their jobs?
They can work for other EV companies. There's other EV companies. This is not the only one.
So why are you
China will
more?
probably be taking it over anyway.
So why are you concerned for the federal employees that lost their
He
jobs,
has
but
no
not?
legal authority to fire all these government workers.
He didn't.
And
fire-
he doesn't fire them. Basically, Elon Musk does not work for the government. He is commissioned to portray information or present information, and then the government decides what they will do with that information. I don't get why these people think that he suddenly works in the government. No one voted for him, and he's not elected. He's not in any power. He's a consultant that provides information, and then the government acts. Like, people get that, right? People understand that, or do these people not understand that?
Anybody. He's just an advisor. He can't legally fire anybody.
Okay, I'm done.
She just told her exactly basically what I just said. He's an advisor to the government, and she just went, "Okay, I'm done." Like, do you not get that? Like that's literally what's happened. He's an advisor in a consultancy position to the government, and then the government collates the information and makes decisions based upon what he presents. Oh, okay, I can't talk to you because you don't like to hear that because that's the fact. She just walks away from it. That's just crazy, right?
So why are you concerned for the federal employees that lost their jobs,
He has
but
no
not?
legal authority to fire all these government workers.
He didn't fire anybody. He's just an advisor. He can't legally fire anybody.
Okay, I'm done.
She'd rather walk out into the traffic and risk getting knocked over by a Tesla than actually have a genuine conversation about the facts.
For Fox News.
Oh, maybe one day. I don't know. Hey, Fox News, if you want
Fox
to.
News, right here.
Well, I'm just.
Wow, man. It's just all kinds of madness over there. What a flip-flop world we live in these days. Mating on Chinese EV brands one day, then USA brands the next day. Right. I'm not sure what you meant by mating, but raving? Yeah. She had a chance to name many other EV brands, but couldn't quite name any. Didn't name any.
Wondering if you're against federal workers losing their jobs, why are you okay with private citizens losing their jobs?
It has to do with Tesla.
I know, but I'm talking about the employees.
Tesla was one of the first EV brands out there, and they certainly have potentially the greatest electric vehicles on the lineup. Hating on Chinese EV brand. And because now Elon has an advisory role to a president that this woman doesn't like, suddenly everything Elon's done is bad. All the things he does. And why is it just Tesla, by the way? Like, why aren't we seeing them protest about, why isn't Starlink? Why aren't they, like I said, why aren't they ripping Starlinks off buildings? Why aren't you seeing people go around and like frisbee these Starlink dishes into the ocean and say, that's Elon, fuck Elon. That's the same concept, right? Like, it's just Tesla. What about the Boring Company? What about the SpaceX stuff? Why is it just the Teslas that are copying it? He owns plenty of companies. What? Like, and if it's proactive, you can go back in time and abuse someone because they bought a Tesla. Like, can't you also abuse anyone that's used, say, PayPal when he owned that? Like, how far back does this go? Is there a statute of limitations to how far back you can go with Elon's companies? Absolutely, it's madness, right?
That's okay. People have a right to protest companies they don't like they did Target, like they did Walmart, like they did Amazon. How is this different?
Oh, I think it's different because you don't want this company to. You're saying these employees.
Other companies have been protested against too.
You're actively saying that you are against federal employees from being fired, but
she's gonna get hit by a car. Hey, she's like, I'm very busy here. I've got to wave this bit of cardboard so that people slow down and read it. Now I can't. The most effective way I can deliver my message is to wave this cardboard. The fact that you're here on a channel, a YouTube channel, with 824,000 subscribers is irrelevant. I've got more chance to get my message heard by stepping out into the traffic and waving a piece of cardboard. I could be talking to you, a channel here with a security and a camera and a microphone, or I could wobble this bit of cardboard in front of random cars. Which do you think's more effective? I'm going to step out into the traffic. Keep waving my wobble. Hendrik, my sister's Chinese MG4 is a fantastic car, and yes, it makes it to Kalala Beach from here just fine. from there in one charge? No shit, Hendrik. Doesn't do that. You got to do at least this. That's like 1,000 kilometers, man. You got to do at least the charge.
With these guys losing their jobs.
Well, if
Do you think the
doesn't
job
like
market-
your product, they have a right not to buy it, right?
People love their product.
Well, apparently their stock is tanked, and Elon is running scared and crying on TV. Yeah, it's doing.
It's not just Elon that runs Tesla, though. Like, do they go after all of the board, or is it just the CEO? Was old angry people have a crafternoon making their signs? They probably do. On 4 charges, Hendrik. Oh, that's more than I thought. I thought it would be 2 at least. It's like about 1,100 kilometers to Brizzy. I guess most EVs are around about the 450 mark, aren't they? 450 kilometers to the charge.
Great. Or Fox News, I'm sure, says it's doing great. When they're trying to hawk the cars on the front lawn. Yeah, that's very presidential.
Okay.
Imagine she did get cleaned up by a passing vehicle. It'd be the most irony, right? Like, you could have like just stepped off the road and engaged a conversation with a camera crew, or you chose to keep standing out on the street and eventually you got swiped by a vehicle. And the irony would be, if that was a Tesla, that would be all kinds of irony.
So, your sign says, have you no empathy? What has he done that would point to and be like, really, dude, be more empathetic?
He just cuts numbers, and he prides himself on that. He prides himself on the money bottom line, and he doesn't realize the lives that he's affecting.
If I understand correctly, Elon has access to government records to collate those records and present findings on certain things. You know, there's a variety of different avenues he's looking into, or he's been assigned to look into. Once those situations have been brought to light, it's up to then the next level or the first level of government to decide what to do with that information, right? Whether they bury it or whether they act on it. So getting angry at Elon is literally shooting the messenger because you don't like what the message is. He's just digging in and finding out things and presenting it. So you're really missing the point if you're going after him. You should be going after the person who acted upon the message if you really wanted to make a point. But then that would have no effect on Tesla. That would not have any effect on sales of Teslas and stock. So this is more, it seems like this is more a combination of them not liking Elon first, and then the fact that he's been assigned this advisory role, or this controversial role to assist the government. That's just capped it off, right? That's just sent them into a flurry of madness. Because again, if the things he's finding and then delivering to the government is so upsetting to you, wouldn't it be the best course of action to look into whether those things are real or not? Like, instead of arguing with Elon about presenting, like, he brought all this stuff and now they're hating it, why don't you look into the stuff that he's brought and say, well, you know, this isn't factual, or that's not factual, or this is factual, but the numbers are wrong, or this happened under this regime, or this happened here, this is how this happened and this is why this. But instead it's like, Elon said it, so therefore we hate Elon. Like, it's so unsensical. Like, it just does not add up. That one's about $3.50 per charge. Okay. You cane it, you use the aircon it, you lose it. Yeah. Was got a BYD, build your dreams, 400 to 480. Man, that's rad. Charging it at home with AGL, it's $5 a week. No shit, dude. $5 a week to charge your vehicle. That's so sick, dude.
Both in the people that are working and the programs that he's cutting.
Right.
He just doesn't get it.
Elon hasn't cut any programs. Elon hasn't fired anybody. Like, where would you get that information from? He's found the facts, presented them to the government that the majority of Americans elected. Let's not forget Trump won the election and the popular vote by a landslide. So the majority of that country voted this gentleman in, and his government is acting upon the facts that Elon's presenting. Now, if you don't like what Elon's presenting, go after the facts. Go and find out whether he's changing the facts. Go and find out whether there's anything truthful behind it. But going after him and the company that he is CEO of is so utterly ridiculous. Like, unbelievably ridiculous.
The only thing that matters to him is money. That's what this is.
The only thing that matters to Elon is money. He's the wealthiest man on the planet. That would be the least thing that would worry him. Wouldn't it? If you've got the most money on the planet, do you think you're worried about getting more? That's the one thing you'd be like, I don't need to worry about that. I've got so much of it, I don't need to worry about it. Make this make sense, love.
Doesn't get it. The only thing that matters to him is money. That's what this is all about.
Unbelievable.
All right. What kind of consequences would you like to see Elon Musk or Tesla as a company have?
I would like them to have rock bottom profits.
Okay.
So that he has to consider, do we keep it? Because he's got...
Oh my God, it's nothing to do with Tesla though. Elon is in an advisory role to the government. How does that even relate to Tesla? If it did, like I said, you'd be smashing up the Starlinks and all the SpaceX stuff as well. Elon has offered to help people in need, so it's not just focused on money. I mean, it's weird. Just when you thought you got your handle around America, this shit pops up.
Charging stations everywhere. He is quietly taking over the country.
With the charging stations?
Yes. And I would like to see his business really hurt. I would like him to be as upset as all these people that lost their jobs.
Okay. Talking about people who lost their jobs.
So dumb.
Well, I don't know you, so I mean, I would like to be your friend, but I don't know who you are. So we aren't on that level of relationship yet. But maybe we can hang out later and become friends. Are you concerned about the employees? He has about 120,000 employees worldwide. Would you be worried about them losing their job?
She won't admit who she is.
Man, please don't mansplain. Don't mansplain to her. That is disrespectful to talk to a woman like that and tell her what to do. Do not mansplain another woman. Do not mansplain her.
Whether you want to, but I highly advise that you do not speak.
She doesn't need your advisory. She's a strong woman.
I'm not ashamed of what I say.
It's not a matter of what you're saying, it's where it's going to. That's all I gotta say.
The internet. So you can't speak on the internet. Didn't he drop in shipping containers with black backup batteries for disaster areas, then also offer Starlink to people in need during disasters? They forgot about that? Yeah. I mean, if you want to find the good, there's good. If you want to find the bad, there's bad, right? He also called that guy a pedophile for helping out the guys stuck in the cave. That's bad. If you want to find, there's bad parts of Elon. No one's denying that. This is not one of them though, right? This is not one of them, but there are bad points to Elon Musk. 100%. This is not one of them.
Who are you working for?
My name's Jenna. I work with Feminist Camp.
You work with who?
Feminist Camp. Yeah. So would you be concerned about the 120,000 employees from losing their jobs if Tesla were to tank?
You know what? I don't want them. I don't wish them any ill. But they're not going to be cut off with a bad recommendation.
Is it kind of like just collateral that's kind of what would have to happen?
No, it's not.
He supplied Starlink to Ukraine. What about to Russia? Did they get any as well?
When Trump sent out the emails, he also sent out, Musk, sent out the letter saying that their work was subpar. And that was a double blow.
Okay.
So we don't like your work as well. That's harsh. Not Russia. So Russia didn't get Starlink. Is Starlink available in Russia? Period? Like just to anybody or not?
Let this be a single blow.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Yeah, stay hydrated out here. It's a little warm. Welcome to the protest.
Well, what are we fighting for?
Yeah, so they want Elon Musk to go.
All right, I'm here. We're all. I agree.
You agree?
He's stoned.
What's the worst thing Elon
Look how
has
stoned
done?
that guy is.
Well, what are we fighting for?
Yeah, so they want Elon Musk to go.
He's like, there's a protest going on. I'm down, man. What are we protesting again? I'm for it. It's blocked in Russia. Oh, he put a block on Russian Starlink? Ooh, that's interesting. I mean, are people mad about that as well?
All right, I'm here with y'all. I agree.
You agree?
Yeah.
What's the worst thing Elon has done?
Have 7 different 50 Facebook accounts, trying to be a womanizer with 14 kids, and he's not a good father at all. Sucks as a father. He's never there for his kids.
Let's burn his company down.
Oh, are you a scam?
Yes, she is.
No, I don't know what that means. That seems derogatory.
She's fake wearing a shirt.
What? There was someone else here filming. I don't know if that's what they mean. It was another
Iran is blocked too? Okay.
woman. She was like, MAGA crazy lady. You know, I don't believe in that crazy stuff.
Okay, well.
Yeah, so deport Elon Musk. Where are we sending him to?
Well, somewhere else other than here. I mean, I think he's, I'd like to deport him to prison, you know. That would be very nice, you know.
What crimes has he committed?
Yeah, good question.
I think he has illegally unemployed, if you'd like to use the word, thousands.
He's illegally unemployed. She meant fired. He's illegally fired people because he presented this information and the information was acted upon?
Of federal workers. And that's just a start. I think he has illegally seized private information.
She must understand that he's been sanctioned to do this, right? She must understand that the government gave him the powers to investigate this. Does she not get that? There's nothing illegal. He hasn't broken in like Breaking Bad style at night with a big magnet and sucked all the information onto a hard disk. He's been given access to go in there and find out, dig deep into contracts and financial records and see where things have gone. He's been commissioned to do that. He's doing it. He's presenting what he's finding. And then the government that you people elected has made decisions based upon that information. There's nothing more to it than that. But must smash Teslas. Teslas have to go. All Tesla vehicles go.
Of you and you and you and you and me. And I think that that's illegal. So,
how has he done that?
Well, he has accessed that. In fact, he made that a very strong point.
Yeah, he has access. Keep going. Where did he get the access from? Keep going. The government that you elected. Yeah.
You know that his very young, very inexperienced crews should be given access codes to all people's personal information. That's all I have to say.
And who gave him that, love? No. You were just getting into a good point here. Hello, by the way. He got access. Who gave him the access? So it wasn't illegal. So the illegal part's not quite part of the argument now. It was legal. As soon as the actual conversation starts hitting salient points, these people have to leave. Where suddenly we have to protest elsewhere, not right here.
Okay.
How do you protest? You want to get your voice out. Why wouldn't you give it to someone that give you a
Who are you?
I'm just a guy at Tesla that.
Or you work here?
No.
Oh.
I'm dropped my car off and now I'm having a field day.
Well, can I ask you for your opinion about this stuff? Okay. All right. Yeah. Come here with me.
This guy's the enemy, man. He drives a Tesla. We got one right here. There's a Tesla driver. Yeah, let's get him. Elon, you suck. We're going to show you how much you suck by making this guy's day bad. You brought your Tesla here to get service. Oh, you're a bad man. You should never have bought a Tesla. I hope you're going to get rid of that.
Are you call fix or just a regular fix? No, my tire is out of balance.
So you just came to have your car serviced because the tire messed up, and then you see this happening out here. What was your first initial reaction?
I was supposed to just drop the car off and go home, and I told my wife, absolutely not. I was born for this. I just love out here antagonizing them, and they're just so.
You sound like
I thought
me.
I thought he was going to say that he thought his car would get keyed if he left it there.
It's so great.
What was he trying to say to you? Because he refused to talk to me.
Yeah, so I'm trying to ask them like specifics, right? Like what I actually want to engage with them, and like I'll talk to them. Someone would just shout at you and won't, no conversation. This guy actually had some. Engagement, and I was asking him, okay, specifics. What is it? He's saying they're going to cut his Social Security. I was like, have they cut your Social Security? Because I'll be out here with you. Like, I have family on Social Security. No, they haven't cut my Social Security. They're going to cut my Social Security. Okay, when did they say they're going to cut? Because I heard the opposite. I heard that they're not. Matter of fact, last night Elon just did a thing. We're not cutting your Social Security. So where are you hearing that? They're not cutting your Social Security. And then I asked it wasn't him, it was a different guy that engaged with me, and I said about I said, do you agree that there's some waste and fraud in the government, specifically Social Security? He was also complaining about a Social Security. And he said, yeah, there's waste and fraud. I was like, do you agree that there's people 120 years old plus on the Social Security records? He's like, I'm sure there's some of them. I was like, so do you think that they should be cut? Yeah, well, you know, they shouldn't just go with a hammer, and they should, you know, go to Congress. And I'm like, well, if the government, the president is the executive of the United States, he has to make decisions, right? So if the president detects or the executive detects fraud in an organization, whether it's the government or a business, how soon should he cut that fraud? Should he let it go on for a day, a month, a week?
That's good.
How long should that go on? And the guy agrees, like, immediately. I was like, well, that's exactly what they're doing. So we agree.
This guy's speaking sense this is almost over, unfortunately, this video, but this guy's speaking sense. Great point, Hendrik. VW was started by Hitler. Do people key those? Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, yeah. Very good question, right?
Agree. You're out here peddling media talking points instead of actually getting down to what these guys are saying.
That's good. Yeah, I like that. That's good. So
Fully.
how long should we allow fraud to happen?
The smartest man here on this video, oddly enough, is a guy who owns a Tesla. Let's just say that, right? This guy just came out and just spoke a whole bunch of smart, and he's the guy who was dropping his Tesla off at the Tesla dealer that they're all protesting about.
Do you think that if this was the other side of the aisle, if Kamala had somebody in there finding all this fraud, do you think they would be out here protesting anybody to do with her? Would they be championing saving money from the taxpayers?
You wouldn't hear anything about fraud if Kamala got into the office. They're uncovering stuff that I didn't even think that they thought they would uncover. As in, you know, that money is just funneling out of the government. Taxpayers are paying these NGOs and these nonprofits, right? And then the nonprofits are paying their executives these ridiculous salaries, which then fund campaigns, right? And it's basically the taxpayers' dollars, from what it looks like, it's going all the way around to fund these campaigns. And I think it was this guy I was talking with. He says, well, or the lady said it. She said, well, where is all the indictments? Where is all the prosecutions for all this fraud and abuse? And I says, I 100% agree with you. I just had this conversation with my wife and my dad. And I said, I tell you what, if by the midterms, a couple months before the midterms, if the Republicans don't come down on like, hey, this is what we've uncovered, and these are the people responsible, and start bringing in some indictments, then us Trump supporters, this MAGA crew, is going to start getting pissed. Yeah. Because we're like, okay, all the fraud, yes, we agree. We love what you're doing. We're out here. We're supporting you. Now do something about it. And so far, everything that he's doing is exactly what we voted for.
Yes, yeah.
We just need to make sure that the people are held accountable. The Adam Schiffs and, you know, everybody else that was in that are held accountable. And we see some prosecutions. And once that happens, I think we're going to sweep the midterms.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you trying to engage with them. They won't engage with me.
Well, they found out who you
They
are.
don't like me.
They found out.
They don't like me. Because of your guys' support, I always come out here prepared with security. It was needed today. I appreciate them so much. And you can go to patreon.com/CaitlinBennett if you would like to continue supporting me and my work and keeping me safe out here.
I guess that people don't like this Caitlin Bennett girl because of her gun protesting, and so that spills on to anything else she does. Is that what I mean, I don't know anything about her, but I guess that's where that story goes. People found out that she's pro-gun or something, but most Americans are pro-gun. I don't know anything about her. I really loved your point, though, Hendrik. VW was started by Hitler. Do people key V-dubs? They do not. I'm going to go and grab a homebrew. This, by the way, right now, when I'm about to trigger the surfing video, this is when the stream ended yesterday, but I am using the dongle for the internet. So, I've been watching. There's been absolutely zero encode overload. I used to get, when we were watching content, I used to get encode overload errors every now and then. And I think it's because I was using the CalDigit TS3 for the internet. And I don't know, I'm just trying something different, and it seems to be working really well. So touch wood, nothing goes wrong here. Here's my surfing video from yesterday where I got all these injuries. By the way, this is healed up really well. I won't take it off right now. I wonder what happened at the end of the stream. It wasn't the end, it just ended. I got so many cuts on myself. Like, sorry to do this to show feet, but look at all these cuts on my feet here. Here, 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 I really got messed up there on my back. But the biggest one was the I guess I can take it off. Barnacle rash. Yeah, I paid the tax and said hello to the reef. Now this is healed up really nice. Like, look at that. Look at that. That by the way, I'm really enjoying autofocus. When I get the GH5 back, I'm gonna set it to autofocus. I like being able to, get closer with shit. Like, so that there is you can see there's like a little, I guess I should put that back on just in case, because it's right on the desk where you put your elbow. That's a quick heal. Well, it's not healed, but what happened was the skin, see how it's like a V shape? It's like a gouge, it's like that kind of a shape, and it gouged in, and then it must have slid up. And so all I did, and I surfed for the whole hour didn't even know that was a problem. I thought these were the problem. These cuts up here, I thought they were the problem. It wasn't until I took my wetsuit off back at GoVan that I realized that I'd actually messed up my arm more than anything. So I just got that little flash of skin and flapped it back up. Well, first of all, I pulled it down and then made sure that there was no wetsuit material, no barnacles or anything. Just cleaned it all out, washed it all out. Then I put lots of Dettol, which is disinfectant. There's like liquid Dettol, and I put this cream Dettol, and I shoved it all over it. And then I lifted the skin back up and stuck it to itself, almost like a stitch. And then I put this bandage on, and or this Band-Aid across the top to hold it down. And within 24 hours, that's kind of sealed up to the point where I'm going to go surfing tomorrow. I stayed out of the water today. I figured I should take at least a day without going in, but it's really good today. Big, but really good. Clean, big. A lot of dudes out too. I was like, I'm missing out, but I just thought I'll take one day and I'll heal up. But you got banged up. Hey, how you doing, Comptech? Yeah, I did. I got banged up. Here's the video of the bang up. You don't see too much of it, but you can see the location I was surfing. Kalala Bay, by the way, H-Man. I surfed at your sister's local. A little break there called Lefts, and it's in front of a reef. And I hit the reef on my first wave, and then I just wasn't very confident after that. But I'm getting a beer. I'll see you guys in a minute. First wave, hit the reef, and even feel it.
So I wanted to surf here because it's way too big off the front, Culburra Beach. This is Jarvis Bay, Kalala Bay. They call this lefts because it's a left-hand point break. The gentleman who was here, he's just left, local from Old Errol Bay. Now I feel a little bit more on edge because it is a little sharky out here, and I have hit the reef already at one instance on my first wave. Oh, here's a wave. Yeah, and if I'm being honest, I'm a little apprehensive. Like that one, I probably should have paddled harder and faster, further up my board and charged it, but I guess I wussed it. Well, this has been, what are we at now? 1:03, 1 hour and 3. Oh, hold on. I just can't pick that section. Yeah, it's been 1 hour and 3, and there has been a little bit of activity just in the last 10, but more than likely what you're going to see me paddling in. The paddle of shame. Kidding?
Hey, Tarkwell, thanks for following on DLive. How you doing? So yeah, that's the surfing clip from yesterday, and I guess the thing with that is if you are going to surf on a reef break like that, where the wave only breaks when it's shallow, you've got to be confident, which on my left, like on a left-hand break, I am probably more confident than on a right-hand break. So I was, it kind of sucked that my first wave, I kissed the reef, because that messed me up for the whole of that surf. There wasn't many waves coming through, and when I did get the chance, I was like, so I was a little bit like frightened of it, I guess. So yeah, that's what happened, and interesting break. I'll go back there again when it's really big off the front here. You go into the bay, and hopefully it's mellower, which it is. Hendrik, you'll know, Kalala Bay doesn't get a swell, really, unless it's massive from the south. But you see any sharks? No sharks. No sharks. But I tell you what, I did see a dolphin that did come up pretty close. Dolphins are mammals, so they got to breathe air. And so dolphins, when they first pop up, you hear this. And if it happens behind you or out of your field of vision, but you just hear it, it's kind of frightening. And out there, it was dark water, like sort of murky storm water. And I just heard this. And I was like, what the fuck? Oh, it was a dolphin. Really frightened me. Cheers. Easter Saturday. Easter Saturday homebrew. Not that I needed the excuse, but exclamation pour, exclamation drink in the chat. I'll wait for the pour at least. Exclamation pour in the kick chat in 5, 4, 3. We got stereo pause going on there. There's also a little hare up there and a bear as well. There's people with games and stories to tell. Thank you, Hendrik. Let's move on, but keeping the theme of the story, the true story, Channel 7 lies exposed, the truth about my EV fight with Australian media. I think Duncan sent me this, or maybe might have been Duncan. Did you send me this, or did Duncan? Whoops.
Media story is this. Channel 7's story is this. There's a factory that produces nickel in Indonesia. In that factory, 21 people died. However, Channel 7 and the reporter that reported on this story and that ambushed and attacked me, they knew that this factory, and in fact most nickel factories in Indonesia, does not produce nickel for electric cars.
By the way, sorry to do this, but can we just
Indonesia
can we just observe how rad this guy's setup is? And I'm just saying it because I do it with the similar kind of color of the light behind, but I just think that looks so beautiful and warm and welcoming. The white balance is perfect. The exposure is perfect. He's got a white shirt on. That's typically extremely difficult to expose for. He's exposed that perfectly. There's this beautiful ambient orange light behind him. I love it. This guy's already got my attention just because of his setup. It's also quite the beard he's got going on there. Can I make friends and chat with them on here? Yes, you can, Tarkwell. That's the idea. You can do that, and I hope you do. Oh, also, before we get into this too deep, I'll say I noticed when I triggered that alert, or the Be Right Back video, the wave video, the surfing video, there was no glitch. Before, when I was triggering those alerts, there'd always be like the first few frames would stall out, and then you guys would see it. It would be like a little jittery until it kind of plays smoother. I feel like right now, the setup I've got, the way that the internet's coming in through this dongle and it's not touching the TS3 Cal Digit, I think that's perfect. I think it's working. I could even try adding it to the Cal Digit TS4 and that would free up this port for me. I might try that, but I've not had any encode overloads. It's just been great. I'm loving it. How can I do that, Tarkwell? Tarkwell says, can I make friends and chat with them on here? How can I do that? You do that by talking, which you're doing right now. You're doing a great job. Continue chatting in the chat. Sam Evans, the Electric Viking. I watch him too. Did you put this? Is this your link? I thought it might have been from Duncan, but you might have done it as well. How good is that setup there?
Not produced nickel for electric cars. It's the wrong grade of nickel and it can't be used in electric car batteries. So not only did Channel 7, who are paid for by Toyota and other companies, possibly particularly oil companies, not only do they create a fake narrative about nickel and electric cars and the deaths that are occurring as a result of it.
Also, Comtech, thanks, man. Just chat about what's in the stream. Yeah, true. Yeah. Well, yeah, you might have something there, Comtech. You could be dealing with a troll here, possibly. You know, you never know. Good publications.
Basically stitched me up. It was a hatchet job from start to finish.
It wasn't you, Henry? Okay.
Came in with a plan, and unfortunately, the truth is, I didn't see it coming. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Electric Viking. I'm sure you've all heard the news. Even in America and the UK, you guys have been seeing what's been happening here in Australia. It's been insane. I've got to say, thank you to my wife, Shanna, who has stage 4 colorectal cancer. She's been in a lot of pain lately, and she's helped me comprise a response. I know many of my Australian viewers have been looking out for this one. My response to the Channel 7 Spotlight segment that aired heavily edited footage of me and misrepresented the EV industry. Channel 7 is one of the biggest news channels here in Australia. In this video, I'm setting the record straight about what happened in the shown press conference, debunking the completely inaccurate claims about electric car batteries, and shedding light on why this hit piece aired when it did. The timing is critical. I'm going to start with the claims about electric cars and nickel use.
I feel like, sorry to do this, but I feel like we should know what he's talking about because, did I close Chat GPT? I haven't seen the other video. So he's now talking about something that he assumes we know about, which I don't know about. So let's just Chat GPT this. What's his name again? Electric Viking. What is the controversy? I spelled that wrong. With Electric Viking. Electric Viking. TLDR. Sam Evans, a prominent Australian EV YouTuber, has been involved in several controversies. Media criticisms. Evans has accused outlets like the Daily Mail and Channel 7 of spreading misinformation about electric vehicles. Okay, that seems to be the main crux of the matter. He highlighted a retracted Daily Mail article that falsely blamed EVs for road damage and criticized Channel 7 for allegedly misrepresenting him, and the EV industry in a segment about a fatal incident at an Indonesian nickel factory. Okay. Oh, oops, excuse me. What was that noise? Don't worry about it. Okay, so that's the crux of the matter. So there was a death at this. Oh, there's the Chat GPT I already had up. There's a death at the Indonesian nickel factory. Okay, and he got blamed for it. Really? Shit.
Batteries. The segment was ostensibly about the environmental and human costs of nickel mining for EV batteries. Yes, nickel mining, especially in Indonesia, as highlighted, has serious environmental challenges and, in some cases, abuses that do need addressing. No one, least of all EV advocates like myself, want dirty nickel in our supply chain. I've done more to promote lithium iron phosphate batteries.
I'll take dirty Nicky, not dirty nickel though.
That do not use nickel than anyone else I know. I believe I've done more than 50 videos on that issue. But William Bartlett's narrative leapt to an extreme claim that all EVs rely on nickel, therefore implicating all EVs in this dirty mining. That is not correct. In fact, that is a straight up lie. Many EVs, in fact, most EVs do not use nickel-based batteries at all. A huge portion of modern electric cars use lithium iron phosphate batteries or even...
I think that's a no, Tarkwell. NetTV didn't answer. I think that's a no. You can ask him 3 times, maybe 3 times a charm, but I think 2 is enough. I don't think he wants to be your friend. No, Tarkwell, are you just coming into chats looking for friends? That seems a bit weird. Tarkwell, what are you doing? Who are you? Should we investigate who Tarkwell is? Do I have to do this, folks? Should we investigate who Tarkwell is? Tarkwell, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? No followers, not written anything. Only following my channel. So he's a troll. He's a troll. That's going to be weird. Wrong channel, Comtech. You got to do that in Kick, dude! Exclamation weird. Be good if it came across on all channels, though. I'm sorry. Well, it's just a bit weird, dude. Like, have you ever found lifelong friends like that coming into a chat, just doing that? I mean, good on you if you did.
Chemistries like sodium ion. These contain zero nickel. LFP battery technology has surged in popularity because it uses iron and phosphate, which are common materials, and avoids critical minerals.
That's going to be weird.
And cobalt, which actually are kind of expensive.
Snap.
By 2022, lithium iron phosphate batteries accounted for roughly 27% of the global EV battery market.
Cool down.
Up from only 7% in 2018. However,
we see you gives it a minute.
Has grown
we see you
rapidly. In China, by far the world's largest EV market, more than 65% of EVs were running on lithium iron phosphate batteries in 2023. And the share hit 70% in 2024. It will be much higher again.
Sorry, I'll be honest, I'm not really paying attention to this video. I love this guy's lighting. I don't know the backstory about what happened, but it's not really hitting me. And there's other weird shit going on in my chat. But yeah, I'm not really paying much attention to Sam Evans here.
2025. BYD is now the largest EV battery producer in the world, and their blade batteries don't use any nickel or any cobalt. Even Tesla and Kia use those batteries. Globally, recent data shows lithium iron phosphate now commands about 60% of the global EV battery market, and its capacity is rising. In other words, only around 1/3 of EVs worldwide still use nickel-based batteries. The nickel-containing chemistries like NMC or NCA. Liam Bartlett's blanket assertion that every EV uses nickel was completely dishonest, and he knew it, and intentionally misleading.
Intentional?
The industry is very much aware of nickel and cobalt supply issues and is actively shifting to alternatives that cost less. Electric vehicles are not uniformly dependent on nickel, as the show claimed they are. I've long advocated for nickel-free battery technology. One of the strangest parts of the TV segment.
Did he just pull a Jay Boston? Is this an AI video?
Technology. One of the strangest parts of the TV.
He just Jay Bostoned it. That's a Jay Boston 101 right there.
Nickel-free battery technology. One of the strangest parts of the TV segment was the.
He obviously restarted it, but he forgot to edit the faulty one out. That's a classic JB. That's from the textbook Jay Boston.
Technology. One of the strangest parts of the TV segment was the.
Come on, there's too much of this going around the internet right now. This is actually a video, though. That's the strange thing. This is not AI.
Insinuation that I, as an EV influencer, was ignoring and intentionally covering up the problems with nickel mining. This is what the TV show attempted to
He did it
claim.
again. Holy shit, he did it again.
Covering up the problems with nickel mining. This is what the TV show attempted to claim.
I wonder if this is AI. Chat GPT, where are you? Where are you? Give me a No, I got it open. Yes, I got it open. Okay. Can you tell me if this video is AI generated? Give me a link, skis. I reckon it is. Searching the web, just search the video. Based on the information, there is no indication the video titled Toyota achieves that. Okay. Presents a human presenter discussing news. Okay. Well, I just meant this glitch. Let's go back to the glitch. The glitch.
One of the strange.
This glitch from 520.
Advocated for nickel-free battery technology.
This glitch from here. Share at. Copy. How about this glitch? Search the web. Looks like I'm currently unable to directly access the YouTube video link. What? Is that a weird link I gave him? Open up another tab, put the link in. Watch.
Technology.
Wait. What? Why does it? What's the URL? Watch equals blah 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 blah. Just show me the Just share it. Copy the link. No. Just copy the link. Okay, weird. I don't know. Okay.
The media.
Hey, yeah, yo, shush. Shushkins. Okay, we'll just keep. I just thought it was. Let's just call this. This is not AI. This is just JB. This is a JB glitch.
One of the strangest parts of the TV segment was the insinuation that I, as an EV influencer, was ignoring and intentionally covering up the problems with nickel mining. This is what the TV show attempted to claim, that I, at this point in my life, have some sort of vested interest in covering up this nickel issue.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him. Excuse me.
I know personally of many people who have bought cars with lithium iron phosphate batteries as a result.
This was nuts? You know this was? Yeah, okay.
I regularly talk about how lithium iron phosphate and emerging battery types reduce the need for difficult mining of materials like nickel and cobalt. It's on the public record that I celebrate EVs like Tesla.
Oh, this was this was you. You gave me this link. That's right. I remember now. This is a was link.
LFP, many Chinese EVs with LFP, and others like Kia that use LFP precisely because they're more ethical and sustainable and actually last longer than NMC batteries. So the idea that I would try to shut down discussion about nickel is, well, it's just utterly absurd. I welcome it, in fact. What I object to is how the discussion was framed as an attack with misinformation. Now, here's the thing. Nickel's biggest use is not EVs, it's steel. This context was sorely missing in Bartlett's story. Yes, EV demand for nickel.
So this is a response to the Channel 7 Spotlight documentary. So I didn't see it, so this is a little bit lost on me, but we just did a little background research about what it was. The Chat GPT kind of said that there was an allegation that Sam Evans, is that his name? The electric Viking is responsible for a death in one of the nickel factories, but I don't think that's what this is about, unless it's coming.
Nickel is growing, but still the majority of global nickel output, around 70%, is used to make stainless steel, not batteries. As of a couple of years ago, nickel in batteries only accounted for about 5% of global nickel demand. Even with EV growth, that percentage is rising, but it remains a very small number compared to stainless steel.
Yo, thanks, Darkwell. Have a good sleep, man.
Operations in Indonesia's supply chain supply predominantly the stainless steel industry at massive scale. So if one is truly concerned about the human rights and emissions issues of nickel mining, as we all should be, or at least the nickel mining happening in Indonesia, singling out electric cars as the key villain behind nickel mining problems is obviously extremely misleading. It ignores the broader industrial demand. The reality is we need to clean up mining practices across all industries and also accelerate battery innovation to reduce reliance on these materials. Liam Bartlett appears to have zero interest or concern with stainless steel, which accounts for 70% of global nickel use. The Spotlight story also showed some edited footage of a quick interaction that I had with, he says he's a journalist, at the Sydney Electric Car Expo in November last year. Here's what they didn't show in the Spotlight story. The press conference at the Expo included an announcement from Minister Chris Bowen here in Australia that the government was approving vehicle-to-grid technology, or V2G for short, or V2X, or vehicle to home. Anyhow, you get the picture. This means Aussies can soon use their electric car batteries to power their homes and to send electricity back into the grid, which will help them save money on electricity and help Australia's grid.
Hell yeah. What a time we live in. You can use your electric vehicle to power your home. Goodness gracious.
This is a game changer. Many across the industry are saying it will.
Yeah, this is incredible. Yet Elon bad. Yo, Doug, how you doing, man? How was the surf lifesaving?
Be a revolution. Germany is calling for the same thing. Many countries around the world are basically begging car manufacturers to put vehicle to grid on their cars. I attended the show as an EV advocate to present, but also to learn about this policy milestone and to ask the minister questions. The atmosphere was initially positive and focused on clean energy innovation. But before a single journalist could ask questions about this media release, this information, Liam Bartlett from Spotlight completely ambushed the minister with questions about Indonesia and nickel mining. The minister attempted to answer, but Bartlett kept going. He was absolutely relentless, angrily attacking him and hogging the microphone, just completely.
Please tell me
in the media,
please tell me you got footage of that. You got to show that.
Including myself, couldn't get a single word in. I hadn't spoken at all yet, but Bartlett's approach forced the minister to end the session early.
Wow.
The minister was like, wow.
Crazy. Boost, what do you think about Donald Trump and Elon Musk working together? I don't know where you've been, but for the last hour and a bit, we've been discussing that ad nauseum. So if you want to learn my response, go back in the stream and watch the beginning.
Can't believe what I'm dealing with here. And he didn't know what to say to Liam because he was just bamboozled by the claims Liam was making, which seemed, to be honest,
If you watch the
outlandish.
Spotlight doco, it shows the footage. Have you got a link to that, Because I will take, I mean, we probably should have watched that first, but if you've got that, I'll take that now. I'll pause this and get that and then come back to the rest of this.
The time. As the minister walked away, Bartlett snapped at me for some bizarre reason, saying I was the reason the session ended, which was absolutely absurd. I hadn't said a single word to the minister at that point. I hadn't been able to.
It's pretty cringe. I mean, yeah, but I feel like whenever there's a situation, you need both sides, like, you know, two sides to the story and all. Like, I mean, we're obviously leaning towards this guy being the truth teller. I mean, Channel 7, come on, like, what are we dealing with there? Mainstream, lamestream media. So, but we should watch it just to make sure that this stream gets copyright striked, because I'm sure Electric Viking won't strike me, but Channel 7 definitely will. So bring it on. Let's do it.
Anyone at the show can attest to that. If you want verification of my claims, ask the show's organizer, Ray, and he'll tell you what actually did happen. But here's what happened next. I walked alongside the minister as he was leaving and asked a quick question about vehicle to grid. He answered, and I thanked him, and I walked off. Now,
got the link. Not sure if I can post it here. If you are anywhere else, DLive or Facebook, not Facebook. Where the link's coming up? We got a link from Netsky earlier in DLive, I think. I can't remember where links are allowed. In Kick, the Kick chat. If you're on Kick, you can chop it in on Kick. Sorry to make you do that. It's not me that chooses no links in YouTube. Oh, my NDI camera. Okay, my NDI camera froze. Okay, let me just, that's cool. I can fix that. Give me a second. Just give me a second to do that. Okay. NDI has apparently NDI has a limit on how long it lasts. How long have we been live for? 2 hours. I guess 2 hours is the maximum NDI limit. I'm going to ask Chat GPT how I can do that. How I can make certain that my NDI source doesn't just, because it just shut it down, right? It just turned itself off. Interesting.
Spotlight tried to make this appear as though I was shielding the minister from Liam. I was protecting him from the Spotlight program, which was going to expose him for the evils of what he was doing. Well, obviously this wasn't correct at all. I was simply asking Minister Chris Bowen a question. You can email him yourself and ask him if that's true, and I'm sure he'll tell you it was. However, Bartlett was still trying to chase the minister down, and security had to push him back. Then, as I headed to the stage, the live stage for our next live show where I'd be speaking, Bartlett...
Gotcha, was. Thank you, man. I'll just grab that out. I don't want to miss that, so I'll grab that grab that out of the Kick chat skis. Does the phone have power saving? No, it doesn't. It's not on power saving mode. I mean, I do have Do Not Disturb, but that starts at 9 p.m. when I go to sleep. Do Not Disturb is on for 9 p.m., so it's not that. Bart. Yeah, we'll watch this next. Oh no, do you think we should just pause, because we're halfway through this Electric Viking rebuttal? Should we pause it and go ahead and watch the actual thing that he's... I think we should take a pause and watch the actual thing, right? It seems weird that it would stop. Never seen that on a PC. I'm assuming it's something to do with the way the phone app works. Watch Channel 7 first. Yeah, let's hit it. Yeah. Spotlight. Sensational.
As our personal way of saving the planet. We're building them to make a difference. But the truth of electric vehicles makes a mockery of their sales pitch. To protect our children's future. Environmental devastation.
Our workers are dying for electric cars.
This is so... I'm sorry to stop. I'll try not to stop it so much, but this is just all the things wrong with mainstream television. How explosions and graphic overlays and just... It's just so... like badly done. It's done well, but it's just so dumb. Like, people watch this shit and take it like any topic. They'll give it to you at 6:30 on the nightly, and you'll just be like, "Give me more. I need to digest this." Suddenly, I'm angry at something because the Spotlight show told me to be angry. You know, it's just so dumb. Sensationalist. That's the word I was looking for. It's edited bullshit to con everyone for dramatic effect. And like me and you, like you guys here in my channel, we stream a lot and we talk about and we watch, and every now and then mainstream media pops up, and it reminds me of why I stopped watching when I did. I haven't had a television, like an actual like terrestrial over the air antenna based display box. I haven't had one since Perth days. Well, I left Perth in 1998. No, 2000. We went to New Zealand. So since 2000, I've not owned any device that has an antenna for television. I've had television screens. I got one right here. I don't even know if it has an antenna. I'm assuming they still. No, it's digital these days. But this shit is the reason, right? It's just so dumb. Like, it's just so stupid. Like, people fall for it. It's crazy. The horror movie at 6:30 news and Skyhook said, "Oh, the song, right. Never watched the news. My TV is a monitor." That's me. The TV is a monitor, right? Yeah. But every now and then when this pops up, I'm like, this is still happening? People still believe this shit? It's just crazy.
Are dying for electric cars.
While back home, an Aussie industry is ruined.
Used to have 500, 600, 700 people used to go out to work there.
And the government doesn't care.
Minister.
But look what happens when you call it out.
Yeah. You want to do it on camera? Guys? Yeah. Get out of my face, pal.
Fucking hell.
Hello, I'm Michael Usher and welcome to Spotlight. We've been led to believe that the electric vehicle industry is a flawless stride toward a sustainable future. But tonight, in a world-exclusive investigation...
Mark my words, 100%, me and you watching this on this stream, this will get a copyright strike on my YouTube. 100%. That's how lame it is as well. A few days after this story, Channel 7 did a story on how good EVs are. Right there. Yeah.
Investigation reportedly
they probably got an injection of funding from some advertising campaign for the new EV, you know.
It travels to Indonesia.
Hang on, I missed all that Michael Usher blurb.
Michael Usher and welcome to Spotlight. We've been led to believe that the electric vehicle industry is a flawless stride toward a sustainable future. But tonight, in a world-exclusive investigation, reporter Liam Bartlett travels to Indonesia to uncover the unsettling truth behind the clean, green dream we've been sold.
And there it is, was Liam Bartlett used to work for Shell Oil. The irony, right? Like, yeah, you got it, right? Actually, this is pretty harsh. It's like a convicted pedophile doing a story about a pedophile. They're like, and this pedophile was running around the neighborhood. Aren't you convicted? Yeah, but that's in the past, you know. It's not quite that extreme, but you know what there might be some stout in this alcohol.
Where nickel, a crucial component in most EV batteries, is being extracted with little regard for the environment or even human life.
Human life. Wow. The audio's only in one. You know what happened here? I don't know if you guys caught that. The audio just went left channel only. So the YouTube channel that Spotlight has must have got a copyright ding for audio, and that used the feature to remove the audio, and they left the channel in. That's funny. They must have used a commercial song or something. That's classic.
Our investigation begins in Bali. We've come to Indonesia as tourists.
Yeah, that's your classic. Your video has been flagged for using copyrighted music. Would you like to mute all sound or mute music but leave voice where possible? That's how that works. Most EV batteries does not actually mean many. LFP batteries, liquid something. I don't know what LFP. doesn't use nickel or cobalt. We actually heard that before on the Viking channel. Yeah. Yeah, we did hear that.
Our investigation begins in Bali.
What a
We've
rad
come
place.
to Indonesia as tourists, knowing there's no such thing as official government permission for where we're headed.
Did you get some waves while you're over there, Liam?
I think it's fair to say that when most Australians think of Indonesia, this is the picture that fits. Gorgeous sunset, beautiful landscapes, great vistas, natural, tropical, environmental paradise.
And cheap piss, mate, and surfing.
Well, that's what the Indonesian government wants you to think anyway. They certainly don't want you to see what we're about to show you, which is less than a 2-hour flight in that direction.
But as we discover, our flight to the island of Sulawesi is just the
We see you gives it a minute.
of a grueling journey.
We see you.
that few Western journalists have made. A
Thank you,
10-hour
Nancy.
traverse over mountainous interior reveals the full extent of Indonesia's ever-expanding nickel frontier. Open-cut mines swallowing kilometre after kilometre of rainforest.
Looks like Australia, mate. Just be aware that when you watch this, just be very well aware that you could easily make the exact video debunking everything, right? You could present the same content the other side of the story using dramatic drone pan out shots and cymbal swashes and exclamation music. Like, you can do the same thing you can present anything however you want, any story, any angle, in the same manner. So just be aware of that. Whatever happened to Clive Palmer's Queensland nickel? I don't know, Hendrik. You're the only Queenslander here, so maybe you know.
Until finally, we glimpse a massive dark smudge on the horizon. You can smell
Wollongong.
the industrial park before you see it.
A massive dark smudge on the horizon. Oh, you just arrived at Wollongong, did you?
The largest nickel plant in Indonesia pumps more than 50,000 tons of CO2 into the atmosphere every day, creating its own toxic microclimate. All for those environmentally friendly electric vehicles.
Ah. Cut to a scene full of non-electric motorbikes, petrol guzzlers.
We arrive at dusk, shift change for the workers here, crammed into trucks and vans and on squadrons of motorbikes.
Listen to this fucking music, dude. And you see that shot of him going, like, look out your window and look startled at how many people are working here. Look at this crap, man. Watch this.
Dusk, shift change for the workers here.
No, people work here. Heaven forbid. That nickel plant isn't even the same grade of nickel that EVs use, mostly for stainless steel. Good old Channel 7, they got to add their spin for a story. And that's what Electric Viking highlighted as well, yeah. Most of the nickel is not used for EV batteries. It's used for stainless steel manufacture. But can't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Crammed into trucks and vans and on squadrons of motorbikes. Morawali's more than 90,000 workers are on...
Are you hearing this music? What are we watching, like a Marvel comic? Might as well be.
Morawali's more than 90,000 workers.
You could have like the lightning bolt guy. What's his name that comes in on a lightning bolt, sliding in and like, I'm going to defend the Indonesians from nickel. And the big lightning bolt held up above his head. It is cringe, Hendrik. It's fully cringe, man. But this is the shit that people lap up. People watch this and take it all and believe it. It's so depressing, man.
Are on the move, marching into one of the most dangerous nickel production facilities on Earth.
That's such an edit. Like, All right, I'm gonna try to back out a bit.
Is guarded.
I'm gonna try to just embrace it. I'm not gonna critique it as much. I'm gonna try to. This is probably not gonna work though.
At every entrance by heavily armed security forces. They're not only protecting.
Dude, heavily armed security forces. When I was in Malaysia, you have security at your door of the apartment. This is I know this is not Malaysia, but I'm saying it's not unusual to have armed patrols running around everywhere. Sadly the damage has already been done. People who don't know shit watch this doco and repeat it. That's right. People repeat this shit and then they believe it and then they pass it on. And it's
The facilities,
fucking stupid.
They're trying to hide what they're doing here. Because nickel production doesn't have to look like this. Like most Western nations, Australia
I hope you guys have an amazing week. I hope you guys get out there, find a little bit more relevance.
Thank you, Nesky. The demon comes out. That's awesome.
And workers' safeguards on how its nickel is produced.
Are the comments off on this? They was? Let me just check that. The comments are off? No. Oh, comments are paused. They were getting flagged. Should we read some of this shit? Most recent. EV is a scam. No society is sustainable that digs materials like oil, coal. Okay. Classy bloke, that Sam Electric Viking, by the way. Why show the face of the Indonesian guy? Thank you for exposing this. Most people believing it. Dirty nickel. Here's your reality check. The irony before pointing fingers. Okay. Mining impacts the environment everywhere. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Classic Channel 7 quality reporting. Zero integrity. But they turned off or they stopped pausing comments. Learn more. What is paused comments? They're not turned off. They're paused. Usually if you can't comment, it's because they're... Oh, this means that they were open and then they're not. Wow.
We had a thriving nickel industry before the Indonesian government threw away the rule book and let Chinese industry make what's known as dirty nickel at places like Morowali. We're determined to expose what the dark heart of the electric vehicle industry looks like.
Really? The dark heart of the electric vehicle industry. Are you really going to put that in your script? I wrote this script. The dark heart of the electric vehicle industry. It's so stupid. He really said that.
What the dark heart of the electric vehicle industry looks like on
the dark heart.
I wrote this script.
I'm getting that. I'm grabbing that. I want that.
I wrote this script.
Thank you. I wrote this script. That's the kind of person that would write this shit, right? Bloody old mate Creaky. I'm gonna record this. I want to grab this, man. The dark heart. That's got to be an audio grab for us. Where are we? Brave Audio. No, we're in Firefox. Turn that up. I'm just gonna record this.
We're determined to expose what the dark heart of the electric vehicle industry looks like on the ground.
That'll do. Gotcha. The dark heart of the electric vehicle. That's got to be saved. The dark heart. You know it's going to be called the dark heart. Oh shit! Did I not save that? I didn't save it. Hold on a second. The dark heart. Thank you for that. Just get myself a little screenshot of this awesome documentary maker. Spotlight. Done.
Well, this is a little bit risky.
Oh, that's a better shot. That's the better shot of him.
Well, this is a little bit risky.
Taking my mask off. It's a risky proposition we've got going on here. Have you got a seatbelt on there, bloody? What's his name again? That's the dark heart right there. Why is he wearing a mask? I mean, when was this during COVID? When did this all take place? Let me see. 11 days ago. No. COVID's well and truly over. All right. Okay.
We've managed to find a local who is so angry at the way workers are treated here that he's volunteered to try.
Sorry, dudes. Look at the cameraman. 2 cameras. Wait, how's this being shot? Must be a GoPro on the dash, but that guy's rocking 2 cameras. That's awesome.
To find a local who is so angry at the way workers are treated here that he's volunteered to try to smuggle us into the heart of the operation. We'll see how we go at security.
We're currently running ourselves down the left artery, and we're going to be going past the collapsed lung, and we're going to wind up in the heart of the organization. There's your GoPro on the dash, yeah. Do you reckon they told him to do that? Just make a sign like get down. Like from here, you must lower yourself because they might look in the vehicle and see you. How about that? Watch him. Covert. Yeah. Nobody did anything in the back. They were like, did he do that hand signal? We didn't even flinch. Nobody even did anything. Oh my God. What an absolute crocker. You're wearing a hat? You're wearing a hard hat inside the vehicle? I mean, that's one safety-conscious cameraman. Dude, I find that very difficult to watch this in any sincerity. I can't. Like, how can you? How to make a story out of absolutely nothing. How's the music? Is Trent Reznor involved in this? This would be right on a 9 Inch Nails thing. This is fucking stupid.
Where's he gone? He's got inside.
He went into the hut.
He went into the heart.
Forbidden territory for foreign journalists.
Ethan, what's he doing in there?
It did sound like Trent Reznor though, didn't it? Yeah, it's a little 9 Inch Nails-esque. More like no. It's more like the Trent Reznor with Atticus Ross stuff. That's more like the girl with the dragon tears stuff. These dudes are like, this is just a day in our life, man. We work here every day, and you Westerners come over to do this documentary. There's no story here, you idiots.
I think negotiate with the head of the security. It's not a good signal.
What, that he's taking so long?
Yeah.
We begin to wonder if we can trust what our driver has told us.
We need to give him 10 more minutes, that's it.
Need to give him 100 more grand to make it worth his while.
Coming now.
He's coming now.
Look at him. He's not wearing a mask. Everyone else is. He's like, it's all good. No mask needed. I keep my hard hat on to and from site. Beats carrying it. Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Has he got it or not?
Okay.
Okay.
Whatever our friend has told the Chinese guards has worked.
This place is big enough already, but it is expanding at the rate of knots. No, there's security here. Just go forward. Go forward. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Suddenly you're giving directions?
Where your helmet?
Is this going to be like... That's the screenshot I need. I need that. The dark heart. That's the one right there.
Hello there.
Hello there. Hey, Charlotte, how you doing? I love that you guys use the hello there as the welcome into the chat. I love that. By the way, now I've lost my thought because no, I had something. What was it? Fuck. I've completely lost what I was going to say. It was really salient though, and really the timing was perfect, but it's gone.
Okay, you ready, John?
Oh no, that's right. This is going to be like when the Chasers War and everything hijacked the cavalcade of the when they hijacked the 2000 press conference. No, what was it? The summit, the G20 summit, and they ended up driving a phony vehicle with Canadian flags on it, and they got all the way into the center of the whole thing, and they got out and they're like, I guess we made it. We didn't expect to get any. And one of them was dressed as Osama bin Laden. Yeah. Do you remember that? That's what this is like, kind of. Not really. I mean, I'm having a little beverage here, and I've been instructed to drink and cheers. Thank you.
Window to tell this story, so here we go. We are at the epicenter of the world's green electric vehicle industry.
Notice how he took his helmet off? It's really dangerous here. It's really dangerous. You've got to wear hard hats. I'll take mine off, though, for the, actually, I don't know why he took his helmet off. If he was doing a report on shark attacks in, like a famous snorkeling area, would he, get out of the... Like, why would you take your helmet? It's just dumb.
Keep going.
Where your helmet?
That guy said, wear your helmet.
John, we've got a very small window to tell this story, so here we go. We are at the epicenter of the world's green electric vehicle industry. But as you can see, there's nothing green about this. This so-called industrial park produces more pollution than the entire Australian nickel industry combined. And it's a lot easier to do business here. There are no serious rules and regulations. There are no serious safety protocols. But if you're serious about environmental protection, think about this. This place produces almost 11 times the amount of greenhouse gases.
Do you know what's funny about this? Like, he's making a big point about being in the facility and telling this story. But before they drove that vehicle in with their comrades, they'd already shown drone footage from above. So they could have just flown their drone over it and done a long, slow pan and told the story. You don't have to go into the premises to tell the story. But it's a bit more, I can't believe they got in there. It's like Jake Paul and Logan Paul with their vlogs and shit. I can't believe they went there and did that, That's the equivalent. This isn't, it's not quite the suicide forest, but it's the same kind of thing, right? Go to somewhere where you're not really welcome and be as obnoxious as possible. The only difference here is the disguise is mainstream television broadcast at 6:30 p.m. on across all the networks. That's the only difference. But it's equally as cringe, it's equally as dumb, and it's equally as lame, but this gets a pass. Could it be a green screen? No, they're obviously there, but it's just so, and for all we know, if you tracked down, if someone went over there and tracked down these locals that were in the vehicle, they probably would tell you that, oh yeah, where we took him is just like, that's not even the center of that's not even the heart of the area. That's just like those pipes you see behind him. They're just like water pipes running in and out of this. There's nothing gnarly going on there. It's not like you're in some secured area. For all we know, like we've never been there, but he presents it like this is where they make the death rays and this is where all the danger happens. It probably isn't, right? It's just so stupid. Like it's transparent.
To produce the same battery as you would for an equivalent production process in Australia. And that is why they call this dirty nickel.
No, you do.
Okay, let's go. Yep, let's go.
Why are they rushing out? They're rushing out of there. Nobody came and moved you on. Look, we got to make it look like we got rushed out of there. No, you just got back in the car and drove off, dude. Nobody came because you weren't anywhere. Benon missed his calling as a reporter. He'd be good. Man, I've seen enough to know that this is all a load of bullshit. Like, and if reporting is, see, I wouldn't be any good at this because I couldn't fabricate a story into something that doesn't exist. The story has to be there. If you're making shit up out of thin air, that's way difficult.
Our footage on the ground and from the air is chilling proof of how Chinese companies are allowed to flout environmental regulations.
Absolutely chilling.
They've dumped tens of millions of tons of waste and pollution, wiping...
Probably all within their local guidelines, more than likely. Things are different in other countries. Heaven forbid, things are different in other countries.
...out a once thriving fishing industry that used to provide full employment. That's forced locals to work at the industrial park, where they're treated almost as
I wrote this script.
You would tell it like it is, Charlotte, and actually invest. No, I'd come out and say, there's a story here, but the story's kind of boring. Do you want me to tell it to you or not? And I'll tell it to you and you'd be like, that wasn't that great. And I'll be like, no, but that's the story. That's what happened. And not in this story, but just in general. You'd be like, make it more exciting. Like, no, nothing happened. The kid woke up, went to school, studied, got good grades, ended up working in a shop. Great story. Yeah, that's what happened. Join me next week when we talk about the person up the road who ended up becoming a piano tutor, learned how to do scales and then became a tutor. Really cool. Not exciting. That's why this shit's on television every night, because they make it more exciting. But there's nothing here. It's just fabricated.
And condemned to live in the squalid slums surrounding the complex.
This dude's basically slagging off Indonesia. This is their life, man.
All this human misery and environmental devastation.
Human misery? This is just fucking Indonesian life, dude. What the fuck?
Is directly caused by the electric vehicle industry.
Oh my God.
It's a weird irony that your country is producing the material for these batteries.
Yes.
For electric cars.
Yes.
Which are supposed to be green.
Yes, green.
Wow. Didn't really give him a chance to
great
respond.
Personal cost. Professor Aslan Rifki is choosing to publicly criticize the very Indonesian government he works for. An advisor to the Ministry of Fisheries, he says local people.
An advisor to the Ministry of Fisheries. Is this Indonesian's Elon Musk equivalent? Ooh. Burn, right? He's an advisor.
An advisor to the Ministry of Fisheries, he says local people are living with the consequences of having the EV industry set up on their doorstep. While we, in the West, live with a lie.
There's people in my country who are buying these electric vehicles who think they are saving the planet. But when I come to your country, it is literally like a living hell there to work and live.
Our government, I believe they understand the situation, but they cannot have initiative. They have no effort to save our country, as you said, because they think just how to get money.
Is that embarrassing for you as an Indonesian?
Of course, embarrassing. That's why I also am very upset and very disappointed.
Here comes the human element to the story. Showcase young people, showcase people that are impoverished, showcase people that you can relate to that are having direct effects of this. There might be a percentage of them, just exaggerate it.
33-year-old Wardana is an engineer at Morowali and a brave voice hoping we can help expose the horrific conditions workers face here.
Insert stock footage, right? It probably is.
I just want to tell you how it feels.
I stock photo. Shyla, thank you. I just want to tell you how it feels. I had Chat GPT do a Bay Roston on me and tell me how it feels. Had to take a hit of my allergy inhaler because I laughed so hard. I did love those days of Jay Boston when he rebooted his channel ever so briefly to give those genuine. I just want to tell you, that's where that quote comes from, right? I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to tell you how it feels. I'm not going to give you specs about the electric skateboard. I'm just going to tell you how it feels. That lasted all of about a month, and then he stopped, and now he's it's not even him. It's just Chat GPT.
Does the company worry about your safety?
No, the company not worry about my safety or the worker safety, because the company still production.
That's every company, man.
The company don't care about safety.
Do you know of many?
Did he ever tell us how it felt? I don't think he ever did a video about like what he said he would do. He talked about it, but he didn't quite get there. Remember, he was setting up his man cave and doing all that. And remember, Flatten the Curve? That was a good idea. I'm not going to lie. That was a good idea. Actually, Jay does have good ideas. His execution is up the crackers. His execution is garbage, but his idea process is somewhat commendable.
Accidents?
Yes, I know. Many accidents in the factory.
This is what Wardana fears. This video shows a worker who's fallen to his death because he wasn't provided a safety harness.
We still find
Wow, that's
that
a
many
fortunate.
workers die, injury, and have a fatal accident. They don't care about the workers.
December
course they
24,
care.
2023. One of Morawali's Chinese-owned nickel smelters explodes catastrophically.
Shit. Whoa. That's heavy.
Senyumnya.
So here's the human tragedy story.
I
He
miss
died.
his smile. His smile.
Yeah, okay. So here comes the heartstrings tugging at you. Whatever happened to the other guy? I can't remember his name. He lived in Hobart. The AFL referee, Mark Ensby. Mark Ensby, yeah, I don't know. He had troubles. He had some family issues. His wife was sort of pretty, yeah, she was pretty far gone with some cancers. But I thought you were referring to the dude that Danny hooked up with for a lot. The me replacement. What was that guy? There was a dude up in Brisbane that Danny kind of replaced me with. I can't remember his name. He was on the EV circuit for a while. The Dark Heart. When does that go active? Netsky, I got to do that later, man. I enjoyed his content. Sorry to hear about his wife. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Mark Ensby had a pretty interesting idea. Remember, he would rent. He rented a new vehicle and drove it from somewhere to somewhere. I think somewhere in Tasmania to somewhere else in Tasmania. And the idea was that you rent this vehicle, and he also shot a video about it. And I was like, is that a new release? Like, is that a current model of a new release? And he's like, yeah. It's like, dude, that's an excellent idea. You should do that like all over the place. Go and rent vehicles and be the first person to post a video of you driving as like a regular civilian, just driving the latest whatever the vehicle is, and all you've done is rent it, and you've got to drive it from so to so. Like, that's a great idea. Whatever happened to the UK guy, my doppelganger? What's his name? Don't tell me. Nobody tell me. I'll get it. Xander Round.
Son, Rifki,
He died in the
was
arse.
the middle of 5 boys. But his youngest brother followed him everywhere. He was his hero.
And the
At
almost
18,
captain of ships that
Rifki
jump ship.
left the
Oh
family
yeah,
farm
same ship, different
and
day.
set off for Morawali, hoping to become a breadwinner for his parents and brothers.
The Ranger.
Was your son happy to work there, to make the batteries for...
No, he hated work.
Iya, bangga karena suka.
What a stupid question. Was your son happy to work? Man, everybody wants to get a job and earn money. Like, what the fuck? Xander was the flavor of the week for a bit. Yeah, Xander and Danny fell out, right? I don't know what happened, but
Yes, I'm proud of him because he would take his friends out for meals and he would give me money. He enjoyed spending his money.
So he was a hard worker.
Yeah.
But barely 6 months into the job, Rifki is called for urgent maintenance on a smelter. In this video posted to social media, you see his team uses a flame cutter to slice through the wall of a furnace, unaware there's still molten nickel inside. The 2 Chinese bosses running this operation speak almost no Indonesian and are totally ill-equipped to deal with the catastrophe that follows.
so this is user error. They cut through a wall with flaming. They used a flame tool to cut through a
Rifki
wall.
is one of the 13 workers killed instantly.
Look, I'm not saying anything about how whatever this person passed away because of it. I'm not criticizing that, but are we observing user error here? Someone in authority should have said you shouldn't be using a flame cutter if you're cutting through a wall that includes molten liquid behind it. I'm just saying, like, didn't know Xander and Danny. I don't know if they fell out, but I'm assuming they fell out just from historical. Like all of a sudden it just stopped. There's no more content with Xander. People that are big one day with Danny Black seem to go down a black hole. Pardon the pun. Never seen again. Yeah. I tried watching his content recently, and it's just so dumb. Yeah, it's just so dumb. I don't know why he would sacrifice. I mean, it makes him happy, but I don't know. Reviewing shit all the time, just every single video. It's like, here's the latest, blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, just when are you going to actually use that shit? Or are you just it's like, it's basically a Nicholas Cole.
Another 8 die with horrific burns in hospital.
9 people total. That's horrible. Does Xander still YouTube? I guess he does.
Knew about this terrible workplace accident was when they phoned you, when the company phoned you.
Not yet. They were still searching for him. His body was eventually sent to us in an ambulance.
This is horrible.
Did the company admit that it was their fault?
Tidak.
But protests before and after this tragedy have been dealt with brutally. At least 2 workers were killed in the violence. Wardana is among a growing number of workers to join the uprising.
Charlotte has ongoing issues. Surgery, the 28th, yeah. It's on the 30th now. We'll be thinking of you. I was gonna think of you on the 28th. I'll think of you on the 30th, Charlotte.
But their plea for safety from their government goes unheard.
I never seen the Indonesian government see the factory about the situation, about the safety. I don't see.
You never see anybody checking?
Anybody checking, yeah.
So the companies running it, the Chinese companies, are left to do whatever they like?
Yes.
Appreciate it. Yeah, no worries.
Union leader and crane driver Jay Jarlani is documenting the growing number of young men losing their lives so that we can drive electric vehicles.
How many accidents, bad accidents, would you have at the industrial park?
Every day, receive report 8 to 10 working accident in the IMIP area.
Every single day?
Every day, 8 to 10.
And some of them fatal?
Yes.
That's protocol then, right? The protocol's wrong. You've done something wrong.
Jay receives videos of deadly accidents every week. Last October, a man burned alive in another smelter incident. 12 hours later, Jay was sent this harrowing video of a Chinese worker dying of dehydration. And the night before we arrived at Morowali,
Did they just
worker...
Are they just showing a dude dying of dehydration? Did that guy die and they showed that footage on...
And the night before we arrived at Morowali, this worker broke his back and is now fighting to receive medical treatment from his Chinese employers.
But really? This is user error. The crane operator fucked him over. What are we dealing? How is this related to EV vehicles again?
And is now fighting to receive medical treatment from his Chinese employers.
If you could make...
You can't add these together and say electric vehicles bad.
The same money in another job somewhere
So
in Indonesia,
dumb.
would you leave it?
Absolutely, I will leave it. I will leave this company because it's very unsafe. Like the environment, like the safety, is very bad.
Do all your friends and workmates think the same? Are they also worried?
Absolutely worry. All the workers worry about that, about the health, about the accident, all worries.
What is your message to the Indonesian government?
What on earth was that music cut? That's like your operatic Nordic metal.
About the,
Listen
about
to
the
this
health,
woman, this vocal.
about the accident, all worries.
What is your message to
Are you fucking serious? Someone in the edit suite thought that would be appropriate? What on earth was how was the decision to add that audio in there? Like, that's just dumb.
What is your message to the Indonesian government about this nickel industry?
We demand the companies
Satanic,
stop
kind
the
of.
killing our workers.
Wow.
Our workers are dying for electric cars.
Cut to hot chicks on the beach with electric vehicles in Sydney. That's where it's going to happen.
The showroom floor of Sydney's marquee EV Expo is worlds away from the inconvenient.
Sorry, Channel 7. What did you just do with your audio?
Suddenly you're really close to the microphone and it's distorted.
Why would you do that?
In truth of just how many of these vehicles are made.
What the fuck?
This is the ultra luxury people mover, full Napa leather with massage function.
This is our D-Pal SO7.
They might as well say, and 7 Indonesian workers died so we could have this vehicle. They might as well add that bit in, right?
You've got 15.6-inch floating center screen.
15.6-inch floating screen and 3 dead Indonesian workers right there for you. Is that what you want, Channel 7? There it is.
Will actually tilt and present itself to you.
You can get up to around 310 kilometers of driving range on this.
310 kilometers of driving range. However, that comes at a cost of 6 Indonesian workers all passed away mining the nickel that you use in this battery. Just keep that in mind when you drive these vehicles.
Powerful. It does 0 to 100 in 4.5 seconds.
0 to 100, but also 3 deaths. That's the tax.
4.5 seconds.
Sounds impressive. But as you'll see, there's a high likelihood its battery contains cheap, dirty nickel, produced in horrific conditions by Chinese companies in Indonesia.
There it is.
This is the GWM Tank 500 Hybrid. It is our 7-seater flagship SUV.
It's a monster.
It is a big one, but it packs a lot of punch, a lot of car for what you're paying for around 66.
Could kill 10 Indonesians with that one.
But the actual cost to the environment
Here it comes.
of EVs like these is a lot trickier to establish on the showroom floor.
Do you know if GWM use nickel in their batteries from Indonesia?
I am not too sure on that, but
GWM has processing plants in Indonesia, don't they?
Are you serious? You're gonna approach the dude at the booth? Is this the source of knowledge? You're gonna really? It's like asking the chick at the WWE that comes out with the scorecard pertinent questions about the whole game. No, dude, she's just the presenter. Like, damn it, Gibbs, you're giving me a good laugh tonight. I'm trying to be funny, but I'm also, I'm a little buzzed off this beer. It's a very, very low likelihood any nickel is being used. This gentleman, great reporting here.
GWM has processing plants in Indonesia, don't they?
also not sure on that either.
Okay.
Yeah.
As we rush to embrace electric vehicles, encouraged by generous government rebates in the name of Australia's green energy
Good night,
transition,
Tarkwell.
We're building them to make a difference.
I guess you can't really blame the salesman for not knowing the answer to a question that
He's not a salesman, you dickhead.
ask.
Would there be anything in the paperwork of the vehicles to tell you where the battery metals come from?
I would say so, yeah. I mean, look, I have not. I'm head of marketing to begin with, right? And we've started rolling, but yeah. As I said, look, I cannot answer half of the
This guy looks like Ricky Gervais.
questions that you're asking in terms of battery inside.
Australia's
So he just said to you, I don't know, so I can't answer that. And you put that in your report? Come on, man.
largest EV seller, BYD,
claims it no longer uses nickel in their batteries. And what of the other major Chinese EV manufacturers? Well, we reached out to a number, including MG, Great Wall Motors, and Chery. But they remain tight-lipped. Dirty nickel has grown to 70% of the global supply.
Dirty
much
nickel.
Of it destined for the EV market. And many of the world's biggest EV makers make no secret about the fact that in order to compete with their Chinese EV rivals, they need to secure cheap, dirty nickel. Names like Tesla, Ford, Hyundai, Volkswagen,
Never heard
and
of them.
many others. And it comes from
All the names you know is what the idea there
places
is.
like this.
Indonesia.
The Weda Bay Industrial Park on remote Halmahera Island. The next stop in our Indonesian investigation.
Damn, that's dramatic.
China's EV industry is spending billions.
China now.
But little makes it to the people on the ground. You'd never know we were driving into one of the world's largest industrial complexes.
Dirty Nickel and the Dark Hearts. Good metal band. That is a good metal band name, actually. Dirty Nickel and the Dark Hearts. Battleground in the dark heart of Asia. God. So that we can go down and get our double shot lattes in an electric vehicle at the cost of how many Indonesians die?
There's only a single road in atrocious conditions, where a simple oil spill creates traffic chaos.
Just saying, I'm just saying, this is normal for these dudes, right? Indonesia, Malaysia, China, this is normal. We look at that and go, where are the road regulations? They don't have them, man. They don't have road regulations. They don't have building code. They don't have, you walk down a street in Malaysia, from China, you can, well, maybe not China, but Malaysia, you can walk down the street and you can fall down a hole. They just have a hole there and no one's guarding it. There's no sign. It's done differently, dude. Like, it's different. Look at this guy. He's sitting on these dudes are just, they're not upset with this. That's just their way of life. If you try to bring in to these countries the regulations that we have in our countries, it's not going to, most of these vehicles wouldn't even be roadworthy, right? It's a stupid comparison. And to bring this up as this is like a dangerous place. No, that's just the way they live. We happen to do the opposite, and we restrict everything and have rules for everything and over-regulate, over-signage, all this stuff that, yeah, like you look at this vehicle here, potentially the tire tread would be too worn down to even be legal on the street, and you could get a fine for that. Over there, they probably run these tires down until they hit the bare metal, you know? It's just stupid to use it as a comparison because not everywhere is the same. It's different across the planet. Makes you even wonder why they have a number plate. They probably don't have number plates. They probably don't mean anything, you know?
And when you finally make it to Weda Bay, the disregard for the local population is on an epic scale. In all directions, forests and palm groves are being swallowed. Homes are being forcibly acquired. Once crystal clear shorelines are turning brown. The Indonesian government has even reclassified this toxic waste as non-hazardous, giving companies a free pass to dump nickel slag directly into the villagers' fishing grounds. Six months ago, Jakarta-based researcher Anissa Maharani and her colleague travelled here to investigate an endemic and disturbing trend plaguing the local population, who rely almost exclusively on fish for protein. Anissa discovered the local waterways were polluted with alarmingly high levels of heavy metals,
and so were local fish stocks.
Okay, this is salient. This is a good point.
So it only stood to reason that the local population was too. Of 43 people tested by ANISA, more than half showed dangerously high levels of arsenic and mercury.
Damn.
So we took your blood last year and we conducted 6 parameters analysis of heavy metals of your blood.
Only months ago, Glenn Emmanuel was a happy and healthy 23-year-old who, like many young Indonesian men, travelled from afar for a job in his country's nickel rush.
Look, there might be something here in terms of like, okay, well, if the government's allowing dumping waste into the waterways, then that shit's got to change, right? No one denies that. And we had that here in Sydney in the Cook River, Liverpool, Georges River, they used to just dump shit into the water. Now we don't. We do different things. Again, it's done differently across the planet. This probably needs to change. Hendrik, I watched a video last night about how advanced Shenzhen is. Fucking amazing. Woz was there for a lot longer than I was, but it's that city's off the charts. Like, remember that view was from the top of the apartment there, the building that we were in, and we looked across and there was just this big light show, and it's like, what's the occasion? No, it's just like a Tuesday night in Shenzhen. The whole thing was lit up like Vivid Sydney, Vivid Light show, but no, that's just every night here. It's like, wow.
Now he is learning the cost of that decision.
And as it turns out, you have a very high level of arsenic in your blood and also a slightly higher level of mercury in your blood. But the one that is very concerning is your arsenic level. It's almost triple of the...
It wasn't a drone show, Hendrik. It was just the lights on the buildings. They just populate the whole facade of the building with lights. It was flat fishing village. Now it's a full-on city. Shenzhen was a fishing village. Yeah. It's crazy, man.
Safe limits.
Glenn was initially so excited by his new job at the smelter, he sent these videos to his mum and dad.
Ironically, all filmed on a phone that includes nickel. Just saying.
Totally unaware of the deadly fumes he was inhaling.
Again, user error,
Vomiting
right?
blood.
So he got these fumes from the factory, not from eating fish, right? Is that the conclusion here?
Many times in the company.
He passed out.
Yeah. He passed out.
At work.
At work.
Glenn's condition deteriorated, and the company evacuated him for emergency treatment, flushing his blood to try to remove the heavy metal toxins in his system.
He didn't realize that it was blood flushing up until the last 2 treatments, because he was not very conscious, around 10 times with blood flushings.
And Glenn was not alone. Some of his workmates suffered the same symptoms and treatment, and the company wanted to keep it secret.
So he said that when he asked the company what happened to him, he only was given information that, oh, something inside of your body was damaged or sick. But then when he asked about the documents about what happened, the company refused to give him.
The company refused to give him the medical records.
Yeah.
This used to be a very healthy fishing village, but not anymore. And it's about to get dirtier as this place gets bigger. There are already 5 coal-fired power stations on this little strip of land. And as we back home in Australia tend to wring our hands over the closure of just one, here they're about to build another 7. Imagine what that'll do to the environment.
I just hate the way that he's presenting this as it's all detrimental. Like, you probably could find 100 locals that are like, yeah, we need more of this.
Once all 12 coal plants are up and running, the Weda Bay Industrial Park is on track to spew out more greenhouse gases than the entire nation of Brazil and push millions more tons of toxic waste into already poisoned fishing grounds.
Sam Evans is trying to get this onto Media Watch. Oh, okay. That's the ABC show which holds a candle to all these things. Yeah, okay.
Surely there can be no starker example of the real price being paid in the name of the EV revolution.
Oh my God.
But incredibly, it gets even worse.
Hey, can we take a pause here? It gets even worse, but can we take a pause? Because I'm out of beer and I'm going to need another homebrew. I'm obviously going to continue this and then we're going to come back into the rest of Sam Evans' video. I'll try not to pause it as much. We understand it's comical and we understand that it's we understand that it's mainstream media and it's going to get excitable, but I'll try not to pause it anymore. If you can permit me to go and get another homebrew, I'm going to need it to get through all this. This is my one exposure of the week or of the month to this awful schlock on mainstream television. I need a homebrew for this. I'll be right back. Perfect. First wave, hit the reef, and even feel it.
Damn, he's a long-time fan.
I like this guy.
Yeah.
You guys have an amazing week. I hope you guys get out there, find a little bit more relevance.
They were getting yippy, you know, they were getting a little bit yippy.
So I wanted to surf here because it's way too big off the front, Culburra Beach. This is Jarvis Bay, Kalala Bay. They call this lefts because
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word.
Here, he's just left.
I was going to put him.
From Old Errol Bay. Now I feel a little bit more on edge because it is a little sharky out here. And I have hit the reef already. At one instance on my first wave. Oh, here's a wave.
Gang bang! Gang bang! Gang bang! Gang bang! Gang bang!
Gang bang. This is
gang bang! 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 Gang bangs!
Well, this has been. What are we at now? 1:03, 1 hour and 3. Oh, hold on.
Gang! I just can't fix that section. Yeah, it's been an hour and 3, and there has been a little bit of
Fuck
activity just in the last 10. More than likely, what you're gonna see, you're gonna see me paddling in. The pile of shame.
I'm gonna visit all 6 levels of the mine, explore each of them.
Kidding?
You idiots. Oh no! We got a little stagnate there, you idiots. Who was doing that? I come back in the room and I hear fuck me. I can't leave you guys. I can't leave you guys alone for 5 seconds. I mean, I did cue that up myself, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Exclamation poor stereo styles is cheers eases. I can cheers you up there too. Cheers. All right, I promise I won't stop this as much. I promise I won't. Can you believe they use the show? No, I'm just kidding. But really? Seriously, what are they showing here? Natives? Seriously.
It's impossible for them to survive. It's absolutely horrific what's happening to the uncontacted Hungana Manyawa people.
Wow, this has taken another twist.
Let's assume that the EV makers and their potential customers would be horrified to know that the Chinese nickel many are using
Cheers, H-Man.
isn't only ruining livelihoods, health, and the environment in Indonesia, it's also risking potential genocide.
What?
These videos show members of Indonesia's last uncontacted tribe, the Hongana Manyawa, in a standoff with mine workers. One tribe member fires an arrow. The worker filming takes cover.
They're coming across these invaders in their forest, and they're trying to send them away, and they're trying to send as clear a message as possible. Go away, leave our forest alone. And we have to heed that message.
All the major EV makers have been warned that their reliance on dirty nickel is threatening the existence of Indonesia's Hongana Manyawa people. Are the electric vehicle manufacturers completely aware of the devastation that is being done to these people in the name of their batteries?
We tell them, if you end up with these materials in your cars, you are complicit in the genocide of the Hongana Manyawa.
Oh, God. That's a stretch.
Sophie Grigg is with Survival International, which advocates for the rights of uncontacted people like the Hongana Manyawa.
Do they even want... I told you I wouldn't pause it as much, but do these people want our interactions? What, like, you're advocating for an uncontactable tribe? Do they even give a fuck? They're uncontactable. They're untouchable, yet you're advocating for them? They'll probably kill you as well. Like what?
500 nomadic hunter-gatherers living on Halmahera Island.
In the night, we can hear the blasting, the trucks.
Sophie has travelled deep into their forest homeland, where she has discovered rapidly expanding Chinese nickel mines are pushing them closer and closer to civilization and extinction.
All over the forest, you can see these enormous pits.
In this rare video, a tribal elder and 2 of his clan approaching Chinese nickel miners to beg for food and water. A potentially deadly first interaction.
This is all in the name, supposedly, of sustainable development. This is supposed to be the answer with...
She's British, right? She's British, from the UK? How did you get there? Did you take a plane? Heaven forbid you flew there. Shit.
Vehicles, and look at the devastation it's causing to the forest. And this is the home of the uncontacted Hongana Manyawa.
I just don't think we can underestimate the enormity of what's happening to the Hongana Manyawa people. I mean, these are people that rely on the forest for every single part of their life, from their birth until their death. And not only must it just be utterly traumatic for them, it's also so dangerous. They have no immunity to the diseases that people outside can bring in. And we know it's really not uncommon for the population of uncontacted people to be wiped out as a result of contact.
Wow.
So how do Australians know that the electric vehicle they buy is not contributing to the destruction of these ethnic minorities?
The more people around the world that are telling the electric car companies, we do not want to be driving around a car that contains nickel that is extracted on the territories of the Hongana Manyawa. Once the car companies realize we can't have this, then the Indonesian government and the mining companies might start listening.
No.
We do not want to be complicit in this destruction of these uncontacted people.
Back in Australia, the Hongana Manyawa...
I'm not being facetious, but if they're uncontactable, how do you know how many there are? That's a fair question, right? If they're uncontactable, how do you actually know about them and about how they live and how many of them exist? Fair question. Not trying to be dramatic.
Are less than an afterthought in the buzz around the EV revolution.
It's great to be here and great to share with such great companies in the transformation that we have underway in Australia.
The Energy Minister, Chris Bowen, has chosen a friendly crowd to announce a total of $100 million worth of taxpayer-funded government handouts for businesses buying EVs.
Minister, the batteries in most of these vehicles here today coming out of China are using dirty nickel from Indonesia, funded largely by massive Chinese investment. Are you concerned about that?
Well, the good news is, Liam, that we have 9 out of the 10 critical minerals necessary to make batteries in Australia.
Are we talking to the Chinese about the dirty nickel?
We also have a range of discussions with the Chinese government. Our government has regularised relations with China. It's better to have discussions with China than not have discussions with China, which was the case under the previous government.
So, Minister, you're happy to see the nickel coming in here in these electric vehicles?
I think I've made very clear my preference is Australian nickel.
But it's not happening, Minister, it's not happening.
Well, with respect, Liam, it is happening.
Symbol squash.
With respect, Minister, it isn't happening. In a word, Australia's once thriving nickel industry is dead in the ground.
Looks no different to what we just saw.
So this would all be mine over here, would it?
Yeah, as far as the eye can see. So right out to the tree line there, over that hill, and all out this way.
It's a funny saying, isn't it? As far as the eye can see. Well, yeah, because after that, you don't see anything, so the eye can't see it.
Wow.
So this is it.
This is it.
If Sam Riggle's nickel mine goes ahead in New South Wales' remote Central West, the pit itself will be half the size of New York's Manhattan Island. It's the largest known deposit of nickel, scandium and cobalt in the world, and it's fully approved. A potential source of uncountable wealth for Australia from the global electric vehicle boom.
And in terms of electric vehicles, what are we talking? What sort of resource have you got?
There's about 1 million tonnes of nickel in this resource and about 160,000 tonnes of cobalt. So that's enough to support
Swish.
roughly 500,000 to 1 million electric cars a year for about 50 years of operation.
For 50 years?
For 50 years.
There's just one tragic catch. Right now,
The natives.
Sam has little to no chance of securing the funds he needs to dig it up. And this is the reason.
As we've exposed tonight, cheap Chinese dirty nickel, mined in Indonesia and flooding the global market. I've heard some in the mining industry call it crappy nickel.
No, dirty. No, you've already called it dirty nickel. Stick with the terminology, dude.
Nickel, class 2 nickel, and we associate that with the fact that it just comes not just with high emissions, but the way it's mined, you have to strip a lot of tropical forests to get access to these ore bodies. Rehabilitation doesn't happen particularly well. Most of the processing happens on coastal areas next to fisheries. Communities are impacted and there's huge waste impacts.
Despite its terrible environmental impact, EV makers can't get enough dirty nickel, rendering our own clean,
give me that
green
dirty nickel
worthless.
You know, we cannot build the Chinese standards in Australia. Our operating regulations don't allow us to do that.
Well, nor would we want to.
No, you don't want to. And that's why you have to sell the fact that...
See, he just acknowledged what I was saying. There's different standards in different countries. We can't do what they do because their standards are not matching our standards. So therefore, they can produce more of this dirty nickel to supply all of the usage cases, not just EVs, but stainless steel, all the stuff that they supply this for. They can do it cheaper because they've got less regulations. It's not about people dying in the factories and about people getting poisoned from the waters and the fish. It's about their standards are different. That's all this is. The standards across the planet do not match. There's no one standard, right? I mean, talk about drawing a story out of absolutely fuck nothing.
Australia have a terrific operating environment because we do things properly. So you don't have an industry like what you're seeing in Indonesia built.
Do you think some people who
basically this whole story is sledging off the Indonesians?
Drive an electric vehicle should feel perhaps a little less virtuous, knowing where this stuff is coming from?
Well, I think first do your homework to understand where it's come from, but don't believe necessarily that you are solving the world's emissions problems by buying an electric car unless you can verify how the raw materials are produced.
Ed Ainscott's company, Lunnon Metals, is a case in point. Its nickel in this open-cut mine in WA is now lying idle, all for trying to produce green nickel and keep the environmental promise of electric vehicles.
It makes it doubly sad, though, doesn't it, to see a big operation like this shut down when they've spent a fortune trying to be green.
Absolutely. It's more than sad. I think it's a strong pause for reflection as to the standards we try and achieve in Australia for the good of the...
Again, trying to achieve the standards. We're hitting up against the same point here. In this very documentary, they're talking about the standards. That seems to be the actual story. The standards. If Australia relaxed their standards and said, well, now you can mine this shit just the way they do in Indonesia, do you think they would? Of course they would.
Environment and the good of our people and the communities we work in. If other countries aren't reflecting the same standards, well, it's simply not a level playing field.
Exactly. Not a level playing field because diversity, because everywhere is different. That's the beautiful thing about, on the one hand, we've been told that that's why we need diverse populations. We need to have people from all across the planet living together because diversity breeds brilliance and ingenuity, and it's beautiful. Now here is an example of where they're saying, no, we need a standard. You can't have everybody on a standard because that's not how it's done in their cultures. Like, this is... Hendrik, this story makes me want to punch the reporter's head in. Yeah.
While Ed has some significant gold operations to help his company stay afloat, most of his workforce has joined the 7,000 Australian nickel workers who've lost their jobs as Australia's biggest nickel mines shut down across the country.
But it's a
due to standards, due to the Australian standards. Finish the sentence. Don't just stop it there.
massive mine, isn't it?
Oh, it certainly is. I mean, you know, each day you used to have 500, 600, 700 people used to go out to work there, you know, so...
They didn't shut it down because it was profitable. They shut it down because It's too difficult and too costly to meet all these standards to withdraw this mineral from the earth when you can get it cheaper from China or Indonesia in this case. That's all this is. That's all this story is.
Wow. To the numbers we've got now, you know, there's probably only sort of 80 people going out there at the moment.
It was only 5 years ago that BHP saw nickel deposits like Leinster Mine in WA as the centre of the EV revolution, pouring $4.7 billion into bringing old mines like Leinster back to full capacity. So determined to produce green nickel, BHP even built this 22,000 panel solar farm to power the mine. Leinster's mayor, Peter Craig, has been a local for 30 years.
True blue Aussie.
Morning, Rita. How are you?
Hey, Rita.
Well, thank you.
He's seen boom.
He's a man about town. Hey, he knows Rita in a first name basis at the postal shop.
Bust. But never a bust like this.
No one's writing that Billy card.
In Leinster, almost the entire population of
Ripperita.
about 1,400 work in nickel mining. It's the very definition of a mining town. But now, more than 1 in every 2 families have had to pack up and leave. And the FIFO workers, well, they've been handed a pink slip. The only people flying in these days are the skeleton crews to make sure the local mines don't fall into disrepair. Thanks to all that dirty nickel from our northern neighbour, well, if this place is not a ghost town, it's not far from it.
Clean nickel versus dirty nickel.
It was a shock to a lot of people. And I think today,
Look at that.
people are still
Look,
trying to understand.
look at that.
It was a shock to a lot of people.
See that shot there? These dudes are relatable because they're drinking beer at a pub. Therefore, I associate with them. Therefore, they must be telling the truth.
And I think today, people are still trying to understand it. To get to a point where we're at now, that, you know, we pretty much have the best nickel in the world and we're not operating anywhere.
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Doesn't make sense. How do we get to that point?
The
I'll tell you how.
Indonesian-Chinese strategy.
It's been mentioned already in this doco. Standards. That's how we got to this point.
Of producing and dumping dirty nickel on the world market is even more perplexing because of a memorandum of understanding that our government signed with Indonesia in 2023. Minister for Industry, Ed Husick, celebrated the deal, designed to help each other's nickel industries. But it seems to have gone nowhere.
And by the way, I'm going to take a quick slash, but I'm not going to pause the video. I'm going to keep listening with my Kansas. I'm going to be in the bathroom though.
Minister Husick now refuses an interview. But Energy Minister Chris Bowen offered his own explanation at an EV expo.
But we have this memorandum of understanding your government signed it just over 12 months ago with Indonesia.
I want to see this bit.
For what you called mutually beneficial cooperation on the supply of these EV minerals, including nickel. I mean, I don't see too much mutual benefit.
Well,
I don't see any cooperation.
Well, obviously, there's nothing wrong with mutually beneficial cooperation if you can achieve it. Now, there's a new government in Indonesia. We will work with them as best we can to ensure that any developments here are in our mutual best interest.
Yeah, but Minister, what does the memorandum of understanding mean?
Well, there's a range of memorandums of understanding with different countries, which all apply in different ways. If it's not in Australia's best interest at any particular time, then nothing would happen under the MOU.
It's not much of an
That seemed
answer,
clear.
given the crisis facing our home.
It's pretty clear, though.
Industry, thanks to Indonesia and China, and the spin around EVs driving our green future. But the minister wasn't taking any more questions.
This show you've just opened, Minister.
You've had a good go.
Excuse
You've had a
me,
good
no,
go.
no,
Thanks,
no.
guys.
Minister, the show you've just opened is full of
Just give me a very
Chinese
good go, Lee.
vehicles.
I'm hearing a very good go.
Minister, can we sit down another time
If you
now?
ask, I'll consider it.
Well, I'm asking now.
And with that, the minister left, assisted in his exit and the avoidance of our cameras by this man, whose authority to interfere I thought was also worth a question.
Hey, mate, I don't appreciate that. Hey? I don't appreciate that. I'm talking to a minister of the crowd.
Hey, mate, rude, mate.
Who is this guy?
Do you think you're going to get anywhere by doing that?
Who is this guy?
Mate, I want to just help and just separate and just
Well, who is he?
That's the Sam bit.
Who is he?
I missed this. Oh, I heard it. I missed that. I want to go back. This is where Sam comes in. If you ask, I'll consider it.
Very good guy. Minister, can we sit down another time now?
If you ask, I'll consider it.
Well, I'm asking now.
And with that, the minister left, assisted in his exit and the avoidance of our cameras by this man, whose authority to interfere I thought was also worth a question.
Hey, mate, I don't appreciate that. Hey? I don't appreciate that. I'm talking to a minister of the crowd.
Hey, mate, rude, mate.
Who is this guy?
Do you think you're going to get anywhere by doing that?
Who is this guy?
Mate, I want to just help and just separate and just
Well, who is he?
escalate.
Who is he? To step between the media and a minister of the crowd.
Hello, friends.
Wow.
Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans.
Sam Evans also calls himself the Electric Viking.
This was the edited part. They made it look like it was all one shot. Let's go back and watch it again.
Assisted in his exit and the avoidance of our cameras by this man, whose authority to interfere I thought was also worth a question.
Hey, mate, I don't appreciate that. Hey? I don't appreciate that. I'm talking to a minister of the crowd.
Hey, mate, rude, mate.
Who is this guy?
Do you think you're going to get anywhere by doing
Who
that?
is this guy?
Mate, I want to just help and just separate and just
Well, who is he?
escalate.
Who is he? To step between the media and a minister of the crowd.
Wait. But they're also part of the media, right? The media doesn't just mean lamestream media. The media is YouTube, social media as well. Like, who the fuck are you trying to claim ownership of a press release like that? Like a press conference. You can't claim that. Like, it's the media, right? You know what this looks like? It looks like an older has-been realizing that your time is up, man, and the younger crew are taking over, and different media, like, and by the way, that's why we're watching this on YouTube, right? Like, we're literally on the YouTube platform of 7 News Spotlight, and here's a fucking 7 News Spotlight reporter pretending he doesn't know who this guy is. This guy's a YouTuber. He's in the same space, dude. The fuck are you playing dumb to that? Stupid has-been. Fucking hell.
Well, who is he? Who is he? To step
You know exactly who this guy is, you dumb tool. It's time for these mainstream television shows to be scrapped, man. Fuck, get this. This is awful schlock. Just rubbish content. Pretending he doesn't know. Ugh, that's so dumb.
Hey, mate, I don't appreciate that. Hey? I don't appreciate that. I'm talking to a minister of the crowd.
Hey, mate, rude, mate.
Who is this guy?
Do you think you're going to get anywhere by doing
Who is
that?
this guy?
Mate, I want to just help and just separate and just
Well, who is he?
escalate.
Who is he? To step between the media and a minister of the crowd.
To step between the media. They're both media. Like, what the fuck? It's the righteousness of this old has-been. Fucking unbelievable.
Friends, welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans.
Sam Evans also calls himself the Electric Viking, a self-styled EV zealot who backs the Chinese industry.
A zealot.
Automakers and governments are clearly very afraid of Chinese EVs. I've just been in China. The cars there are far superior.
And clearly, the Electric Viking has a major issue with anyone who doubts his version of the green dream.
Because I let everybody else talk. Get out of my face, pal.
You got in my face.
Get out of my face.
You got in my face.
Mate, you want to do it on camera?
So this gentleman here, I'm assuming, is like the media liaison person for the event. Look at this tool on YouTube. The only thing I'll say against the Electric Viking, I don't know about the tightness of the shirt. I mean, he's flexing there. Yeah. Oh, Kabuka actually has a real point. Have you heard of iNaturalist Seek? It's a useful critter identification app where you found those frogs. Hey, thanks for commenting. We're not really talking about that right now though, but appreciate the comment.
superior.
And clearly, the electric Viking has a major issue with anyone who doubts his version of the green dream.
Because I let everybody else talk. Get out of my face, pal.
You got in my face.
Get out of my face. You got in my face.
Yeah.
Mate, you want to do it? You want to do it on camera?
Guys,
You want to do it on camera? You really want to do this?
The electric Viking finally went the way of the minister. And for the record, Chris Bowen has since refused all requests for a formal interview with us.
Chris Bowen? Oh, that's the minister. Liam went up and interrupted this guy's talk hours after the initial confrontation, but they made it look like it was at the same time. We'll obviously see that in the Electric Vikings video, yeah.
Environmental destruction. Human devastation.
But look. To be frank and to be fair, the editing of that to make it look like it's in Spotlight's favor, that's no surprise given what we've just seen the last 40 minutes worth, right? All of this content is edited and hyper stylized and sensationalized to make a point that doesn't actually exist. It's to tell a story, to create a narrative. The lamestream media is so good at this. They've had decades of honing this skill and basically pulling sham after sham over the public with the guise of no, this is the truth. This is what's happening. Channel 7, Channel 9, Channel 10 in Australia, 3 networks constantly doing this shit over and over and over again. And it works on young people and it works on old people. I told you, in the year 2000 was the last time I owned a television with an antenna. This shit doesn't work on me anymore. It hasn't worked in decades. People fall for this though. It's absolute rubbish.
And Australia's multi-billion-dollar nickel industry in
you know what you need? You need a community notes concept. We needed what Twitter has got, the community notes. When someone posts something and it's obviously incorrect and you can prove it, you can community note it. They needed this shit on mainstream television in the 80s, in the 90s, in the 2000s, and apparently they still need it now.
You'd think it would be something one of the 3 government ministers responsible would want to talk about. But no. Chris Bowen, Madeleine King, and Ed Husick all refused to be interviewed. So we turn to the shadow Home Affairs Minister, Senator James Patterson, for some answers. Senator, Indonesia's dumping of all this dirty nickel.
I kind of like it that they refused. If these ministers refused Spotlight, it would be so sick if they accepted on the Viking. What's the digital Viking? What's the channel called? The EV Electric Viking. If they said, we'll take an interview with Electric Viking, but we're not talking to this schlock Spotlight dude. We had enough of that crap. That would be so cool.
With the financial support of the Chinese, doesn't it make a mockery of this memorandum of understanding that it's signed with our federal government?
Well, the Chinese people have a government which ruthlessly stands up for their interests. We need an Australian government that ruthlessly stands up for ours. When you have the Chinese government strategically dominating key sectors like nickel with extensive subsidies and other support,
don't do that again.
They are putting enormous pressure on other industries.
Right on, Charlotte, but you know that they will. They will do it over and over and over again.
Around the world, including in Australia and including in the nickel industry.
But all these ministers have gone missing, Senator. Why all the silence and secrecy?
Well, Ed Husick, Madeleine King, and Chris Bowen running from scrutiny from your program speaks to their cowardice. And
right on, Henry, was as if they'd accept the Channel 7 interview, be edited to hell. Exactly, yeah.
And their failure to stand up for their industries and our country, it is their job to protect Australian jobs, and they've failed to do that. And they should explain why it is that they think it's appropriate in their highly paid jobs that they can't front up and answer.
By the way, can I say it? That is a fine looking suit. And I don't wear suits, but I can see a good one. That is a fucking rad suit this guy's got. And those glasses, I want that suit. I got blue eyes. I want that suit and I want those glasses. And that tie. I want to dress like him. That looks rad, dude. I could rock that way better than him. That looks good though, right? Look at that beautiful suit. If I ever have to buy a suit, what is that? What is that even called? Taxpayer funded suit? Can I get one of those too? What kind of suit is that? Aside from that pin he's got, I don't know what the pin is. It does that kind of ruins it, that little red bit, but that's a fine looking, that's a great look. That's a smartly dressed man. I like that look. If there's ever a formal occasion that I need to sort of schmick up, I want that to be what I wear. Probably be a wedding, I guess, like maybe Baxter or Claudia or someone, but that looks rad.
Basic questions about this serious issue which threatens 7,000 Australian jobs in the next...
It's like a MAGA pin?
What do you think about the safety regulations or the complete lack thereof? What do you think about the environmental pollution?
You can't ask an Australian senator about that. That's what I'm saying. Like these points are irrelevant. They do shit differently in different parts of the world. That's what diversity is, you dumb fuck.
It's pretty hard seeing those pictures to be virtuous about driving an electric vehicle, isn't it?
It is deeply...
What about every other product we get from Indonesia and every other product we get from China? They're all made in the same lousy factories. They do things differently. Aren't we supposed to embrace diversity? Jesus.
That someone who goes and buys an electric vehicle may be inadvertently contributing to trashing of the environment and abusing of human rights. I think most EV buyers in Australia would have no idea that they're contributing to that with their purchase, and they have a right to know what is happening.
It's like when you go to Bali, not that I've been, but I've heard, when you go to Bali for a surfing adventure, you pay fuck nothing for it. You get on a boat, you go out there for 3 days, you go surfing, you stay in a beautiful shack, you give them like $13. And for us, it's like, really? $13 to spend 3 days surfing and eating food and drinking strawberry daiquiris on a beautiful resort with a beautiful wave coming in? It's nothing for us, but for them, it's great. Different standards, man. It's just done differently.
Your program will show them, and they should be concerned about that, and all Australians should be.
Do we come back from a beautiful vacation in Bali and go, oh, I feel like I didn't pay them enough? No, that's just how it's done. It's just cheaper. You get an Uber and it costs you 10 cents. Whatever. It's done differently, man. Like, embrace it, right?
Concerned about it. The whole point of buying an EV is to help the environment, but if you're damaging the environment in the process...
No, the whole point of buying an EV is to not pay fucking stupid petrol prices which keep going up.
It's a pretty self-defeating exercise.
Please tell me that's how they ended. Oh, they ended it. They ended it with a start-stop button. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'll pay that. I'll pay that.
We spent months investigating the links between EV manufacturers and dirty nickel, and reached out to all the major EV makers mentioned in tonight's story for a response. Some were forthcoming.
Did you get the electric Viking on your show? No, you didn't.
Many were not. You can read their full statements on our website. The link is on your screen.
You can go on, shut the fuck up, Michael Usher. Let's go back and let's watch the rest of the Electric Viking.
Angrily stormed up to me.
Can we watch this from? Go from here.
Him for the evils of what he was doing. Well, obviously this wasn't correct at all. I was simply asking Minister Chris Bowen a question.
Wait. We got to take it back to how this conversation begins. Now that we've seen the backstory. Should have a counter for every time dirty nickel was mentioned. Right on was, yeah. Okay, I'm taking this back and going back because I want to get the... Now that we've seen that story, we'll get the full context.
Also, to learn about this policy milestone and to ask the minister questions. The atmosphere was initially positive and focused on clean energy innovation. But before a single journalist could ask questions about this media release, this information, Liam Bartlett from Spotlight completely ambushed the minister.
So no other journalist got to ask questions? The Spotlight dude took the spotlight? Is that what no one else got a question in? Not even Electric Viking?
Could ask questions.
Is that what he said?
It was initially positive and focused on clean energy innovation. But before a single journalist could ask questions...
No one got a question in. That's lame. What about your comrades? What about your colleagues? You're all in the media together. Apparently not.
About this media release, this information, Liam Bartlett from Spotlight completely ambushed the minister with questions about Indonesia and nickel mining. The minister attempted to answer, but Bartlett kept going. He was absolutely relentless, angrily attacking him and hogging the microphone, just completely. The rest of us in the media, including myself, couldn't get a single word in. I hadn't spoken at all yet, but Bartlett's approach forced the minister...
Hang on a second. Was Electric Viking part of the speaking panel? So he was getting up on the mic to give a speech as well? Or is he saying he didn't get a chance to ask any questions? I missed that bit.
Absolutely relentless, angrily attacking him and hogging the microphone, just completely. The rest of us in the media, including myself, couldn't get a single word in. Okay. I hadn't spoken at all yet, but Bartlett's approach forced...
Okay, he was speaking later. Okay. So he was ready to ask the minister a question or two here, and then to give his speech later on. Okay, cool.
The minister to end the session early. The minister was like, "Wow, I can't believe what I'm dealing with here," and he didn't know what to say to Liam because he was just bamboozled by the claims Liam was making, which seemed, to be honest, outlandish at the time. As the minister walked away, Bartlett snapped at me for some bizarre reason, saying I was the reason the session ended, which was absolutely absurd. I hadn't said a single word to...
Before we continue, I'll just say this again, and I've made this point before. If you ever find yourself in a interview situation of any nature, I suggest you record your POV of the interview or the situation in its entirety. So if that means, let's say you're going somewhere to sit down with someone and have a conversation, and you know that it's going to be on their channel, for instance, you might be meeting someone for some discussion. You say, okay, cool. I know this is going to air on your channel. I'm just going to put my camera over there and I'm just going to press record, and you document the whole entire process, simply because what they end up putting on their channel could be an edited version, could be swapped around timeframes and stapled together to say something you didn't say. But if you have the complete unedited recording, you can and I don't know if he did this, I'm not saying he did, but I'm just saying whenever this shit happens, it's imperative that someone has an unedited full-length recording of the situation. Hendrik, that Liam Bartlett really needs his head rearranged. What a wanker. I mean, classic mainstream media reporting. It basically creaky, right? Like a creaky. It was all about the vehicle to grid tech, but they never even got around to that which sounds like something really engaging, right? Like vehicle to grid, like you can power your house from your vehicle. I mean, that seems rad, and they didn't even get to talk about it. What a load of shit.
At me for some bizarre...
And so why did the Electric Viking at one point in the Spotlight doco, we see him and the minister walking off together? Was that him just saying, appreciate you coming down and having...
I'm not like some madman. Yeah, I love it.
Was he just saying farewell to the minister, and then Liam Bartlett's like, you ruined it? Like how did... I want to know how that Liam Bartlett... I want to know how he twisted it to make it look like it was this guy's fault. He explains in a sec. Okay, cool.
Outlandish at the time. As the minister walked away, Bartlett snapped at me for some bizarre reason, saying I was the reason the session ended, which was absolutely absurd. I hadn't said a single word to the minister at that point. I hadn't been able to.
Okay.
Anyone on the show can attest to that. If you want verification of my claims, ask the show's organizer, Ray, and he'll tell you what actually did happen. But here's what happened next. I walked alongside the minister as he was leaving and asked a quick question about vehicle to grid. He answered, and I thanked him, and I walked off. Now, Spotlight tried to make this appear as though I was shielding the minister from Liam. I was protecting him from the Spotlight program, which was going to expose him for the evils of what he was doing. Well,
what the
fuck? This wasn't correct at all. I was simply asking Minister Chris Bowen a question. You can email him yourself and ask him if that's true, and I'm sure he'll tell you it was. However, Bartlett was still trying to chase the minister down, and security had to push him back. Then, as I headed to the stage, the live stage for our next live show where I'd be speaking, Bartlett angrily stormed up to me. I didn't even see him coming, to be honest, stuck his finger into my chest quite hard and started shoving me while yelling, "Who the hell are you? You're nobody," over and over. I was shocked. I was completely blindsided by his aggression, and I couldn't.
Can you spot the difference here? This gentleman is just telling the thing as it happened and displaying the images. He's not using dramatic musical effects. He's not using operatic vocals to portray a satanic angle. He's just showing what happened and speaking it. This is what we need when something like this happens. We don't need this over dramatized sensationalist garbage, that schlock crap on mainstream. We need this. Now you might say, but what about this overlay? Like he's got this little film strip ad plug-in over the top. Well, here's what probably happened there. More than likely, this footage is from the Spotlight production. And so if I'm just speaking what I think, if the Electric Viking just put this footage in raw, probably get dinged. You can't use our material. And they would not allow it, by the way. If you appealed it, they'd say, no, you can't use it. But if you can add an overlay, add an effect, make it look like it's not the original source material, you can get away with it. That might be what's going on. I don't know if it is, but it might be.
Over and over. I was shocked. I was completely blindsided by his aggression, and I couldn't understand why he even had a problem with me at all. The Spotlight segment flipped it all around. They edited the footage to make it look like I approached him, which obviously wasn't the case at all, and anyone in attendance will confirm that.
Had they met before? Do you know if these two had met? Had the Electric Viking met this Liam Bartlett cobber before?
Spotlight segment flipped it all around. They edited the footage to make it look like I approached him, which obviously wasn't the case at all, and anyone in attendance will confirm that. That's claiming that I came at him was a lie. The truth is he came at me. And his crew, his film crew, was 100% ready to catch
Don't think so.
Okay. Happen next. He kept calling me a nobody, saying I had no right to be there, and he pushed me for about 30 seconds until I snapped back.
I'm pretty sure, and I've been in several media press releases and press conferences. You all need accreditation. There are different levels of accreditation, but you do need accreditation. So if he was there, I'm going to assume he was accredited, like Liam was. They're in the same space. That looks like this guy in the grey shirt there looks like potential media liaison person.
Ready to catch what was about to happen next. He kept calling me a nobody, saying I had no right to be there, and he pushed me for about 30 seconds until I snapped back. I was getting a little angry, I've got to admit. I said something like, "Let's go outside, tough guy. Let's sort this out." But then...
Oh, of course, Hendrik. Yeah, damn, of course. He was the speaker there. Of course he was accredited. Yeah, okay. Even that makes Liam Bartlett look even more lame, right? Yeah, he was a speaker there, you dickhead. He was speaking. He was on the panel. Oh, my God. All right, I forgot that bit. Yeah, thank you, Hendrik. Thank you.
I realised I'd made a mistake. It was intentional goading. His crew was filming, hoping I'd react, and I realised it, and eventually I walked away instead. The car show's organiser apologised to me for Liam's actions, saying he was a bully who had hijacked the car show and essentially ruined the afternoon. This incident actually occurred 5 months ago. The timing of the story raises key questions about motives and the context behind the Spotlight piece. Why did they do it, and why did they do it now? A couple of points for you to consider. Liam Bartlett, before returning to journalism, worked for Shell Oil Company for 4 years. Shell, of course, is one of the world's largest fossil fuel companies.
He was a pedophile after all. You know, I'm not saying he's a pedophile. I'm saying the equivalent. I'm not saying he Oh my God.
There's nothing inherently wrong with having worked in another industry.
I know, you mentioned this earlier, but that was overlooked. But that is a pretty, that's pretty interesting.
It's relevant background when considering a topic like electric vehicles versus big oil. Viewers have a right to at least be aware of the journalist's history and his clear and obvious connections to oil companies. Channel 7, the network airing Spotlight, is owned by Kerry Stokes, a billionaire who has well-known political ties and clear business interests. Under Stokes' watch, 7 West Media has even made political donations to major parties. It's one of the very few television stations in the world to continue doing this. With a federal election just a month away and climate and energy policy being hot issues, well, one can't help but wonder about the timing of a prime-time piece that could sow massive doubt and anger about electric cars and clean energy initiatives. Again, these connections are relevant context.
All structured.
One of Channel 7's biggest sponsors is Toyota. Greenpeace says that Toyota has spent more money than even most oil companies in the world to slow down the adoption of electric cars.
I see. Yeah. Right on was. Yeah. Toyota, a Channel 7 sponsor, they spend millions to delay the EV car market.
That's sad. The Spotlight program's framing, even calling the segment the Great EV Con, or emphasizing the so-called unsettling truth.
Is that Queenstown was?
Or emphasizing the so-called
thought that was Queenstown.
Unsettling truth behind the electric vehicle industry reveals a very clear narrative. And that narrative is the destruction of the EV industry. It wasn't a balanced look at both the promises and challenges of EVs. It was simply presented as a scandal to shock the audience. Maximum shock value was what they were after. Sensationalism, it can attract eyeballs, and it clearly did. It worked. But it often leaves viewers completely misinformed. By contrast, my goal with the Electric Viking channel has always been to inform and educate on both the pros and cons of EV technology without sensationalism. To be honest, that polarizes a lot of people. A lot of people want to hear that everything's great. They want to hear that their brand's great. And I have, it's fair to say, alienated many car companies who I have targeted and singled out to say that they're not supporting electric cars, or their electric cars that they're making are not all that good. And I believe some of them have actually taken offense to that.
So what he's demonstrating here is this guy's got integrity, is what he's alluding to. Or he won't say those words, but this guy has integrity, whereas the Channel 7 crew, they're just basically backed by money and they'll go wherever the money is. Which is oddly enough what they were arguing against, because that's what Australia and that's what the EV industry does. They go where the money is, the cheapest way to get these resources. That's what it's almost comical in that regard.
So I don't know. It feels like I was used as a prop in the story to craft the angle they were obviously looking for.
For sure.
But this only strengthens my resolve to continue sharing accurate information to the public, and I'm not going to stop. Even with all these commenters threatening me, you know what? I'm not going to give up.
Do it, man. You've got my vote.
Smarter future. And a balanced and factual discussion is essential if Australia is to move towards cleaner energy. The truth is, what matters to me more than anything else is that we can say to our children, when we go, we left the world a better place for them, not a worse place. Electric vehicles are not...
Maybe don't need to give that angle. I don't know. Like that's what the mainstream media does. Give it the social, the personal issue. I don't know.
An environmental con, and they're not a cover-up. They are.
But the only thing he forgot is the operatic music over the top.
Crucial technology to reduce tailpipe emissions and transition to clean energy, while we simultaneously work on cleaning up supply chains. Both can be true. Okay. We can push for EV adoption and demand.
Okay, so here's his pitch to the EV. I'll tell you this. I will say this. If this gentleman, I've not seen his channel before, but if he does have anything about electric vans, I'll just type the word van in and see. He does LDV a year ago, quite old. Look, can someone let me know? Probably was. I know, and Hendrik, you seem to watch this electric Viking guy. Can you keep an eye on it? And like, I'm interested in particular about the camper vans and like the potential for like a Delica or something similar. You know, something that's gonna revolutionize the 4-wheel drive camping van market. But I'm so stoked was that you alerted me to that. I think that's it's a shame that this shit has to happen, but I guess it's in an overall perspective, it's just media fighting media because they're both media outlets. But what I see is that it's one like era of media being pushed out, right? Like there is no scope anymore. Well, apparently there is, but there's less scope for that schlocky Channel 7 spotlight, dramatized, all that shit. That's gone, right? Tell me it's gone, please. It can't last much longer. People we must see through that shit, right? And then you've got a guy with a legitimate channel just reporting the news. That's we have to get there. We can't turn off, take your antenna out, turn off all that shit. You don't need that crap. Like, so yeah, keep me informed, and I'll keep popping in and seeing from time to time. I'll keep my eye out if an EV van content. Thank you, Hendrik. Thank you. It's mainly old folks who watch TV news, and like, in all sadness, and this is the nature of life, those people are dying, and so is that industry. So is that, like, I personally, I cannot wait for the day. I mean, I don't care either way, but when Channel 7, Channel 9, and Channel 10 all collapse and they're like, yeah, we don't have any mainstream broadcasting anymore. It's just, we just use YouTube and post up clips. I'll be like, yes. Can that shit be used for something else now? Because that is such a waste of resources, and like, thank you. So yeah, be gone. And there's another conversation there, but why do these mainstream places need a YouTube channel? That's a conversation we've had before on the channel. I don't want to go into it right now, but I want to thank everyone for being here. What a fantastic stream. I was only going to do a couple of hours. It was nearing on 4 right now. I was going to do an hour and a bit just to chill out and hang out with you guys. Tomorrow's Easter Sunday. Happy Easter for all you yahoos who celebrate. I'll do a stream, I guess. I'm going to go surfing tomorrow, definitely. And I've got to work Easter Monday super early. So I don't know if we might stream a little tomorrow, but maybe not a 4-hour thing. But thank you, everybody. A bit of comedy. Thank you. Yeah, definitely a bit of comedy. It's been real good, Netskis. Thank you, man. Thank you, Ben. And thank you, Hendrik. And thanks for being here, Hendrik. I'm going to say, look, I opened this stream with the concept of maybe a call-in so that maybe you and Dale could resolve your conflict, but he's either here stealth or he's not here at all. I'll just leave it open for you guys to have that whenever it works. You guys are welcome to get on a panel and blast it out and resolve it here on my channel. Whenever it needs to, it can be done. Charlotte's here as well, and of course you're always welcome, Charlotte. I love that you come in with a hello, and yeah, we can do this another time. But thank you, everybody. Happy Easter. Have a great time.
Guys, I hate to interrupt you, Nick. Hello there. But anywho, I'm gonna go to bed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.